gang, and I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, and I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, like I told ya, this is for my motherfucking soldiers. My blacks on my 18s on my real yosers. Toothless, we raise them up. Ruthless, we don't give a fuck. Y'all niggas on the come up. Fuck at us, then you die. Fuck at us, then you die. Real niggas make real moves. Consequences, cautious. I'm in the gang. Listen up, banks nigga. From the bay, black cloud. Nigga, mainstream peasants 18. Hotel the Southland. And I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang. And I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang. And I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang. And I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life.
Russell Hoover to the death of me, just banging on these dog shit, cause there ain't no money left of me, bringing misery to my enemies. My 4 block niggas gon' send you straight to the cemetery. Yo, it's far, 2 of my niggas passed off, just banging around the nation, never giving a fuck. 2 of my niggas holding it down, thing. Truth is a black and blue. Fuck the monkey niggas for life, and we coming for you.
And I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang. And I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang. And I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang. And I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. You niggas alive, holding it down forever. For spending the streets, cashed up at the age of 16. Checking mud on the daily routine. Don't cross me, and don't smack back in your tree. It's the nigga free, running the streets of refugee. DGI, don't fucking build, just hustle to the sky. I'll do it till I die. Only the wicked survive. I drive so you ready to ride. Niggas for life, niggas for life, niggas for life. And I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This game, and I triple six. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life.
Well, that was a seed. And it's just a husk. Fuck. I can see my papers. Motherfucker. You can't get at you, I can get at you. Fuck. You think I've done this before or something, man? Jesus fucking Christ.
Go far, I'm a motherfucking nigga. Generation high, bound down, this the black bar. Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town, Go far, I'm a nigga. Bitter as hell, bow down, it's the black part. Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town,
If the streets you prepare where it takes you. Some situations can make you or break you. But fuck that shit, I'm a nigga for life. Today I got patched up, real niggas for life. Show black, I see little. Sometimes ride, sometimes 40s, hard times I live little. Hard places, gotta make placed up. Nigga makes me pick chasing every day. Life flags is everything, but it's okay, I'm still here. Vegas, Grand Hood, NFL, we throw it up. We young niggas rising up. Patch members, show fuck my black cars with sting storms. Through the storm and through the war. Niggas for life, niggas support. See them up, we kill them all. Take this patch, Moreno. Yo, fuck a hotel. Representing everything. Bow down the town, wait in your town, let them rap. Show black, we found out. Show black, we found out. Yo, fuck, I'm a motherfucking nigga. Bitter as hell, bow down, it's the black part. Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in your town, Yo, fuck, I'm a nigga. Bitter as hell, bow down, it's the black part. Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in your town, P-A-T is what you see, what you see is what you get, and what you get is chin check. When you come and run away, you gon' feel the full effect of a crazy ass nigga run my blade, crush your neck, angel shit real quick. I hold it down for the fist. This black crown motherfucker, we be up in this bitch. Yeah, you see us on the hustle, we be trying to get rich. This fist gang to the deck, know that I never switch. I'm AT, nigga, never taking it lightly. Fucking must think they mighty, but none of them wanna fight me. You don't believe me, come try me, your fucking ass will be dying. See your mama, she crying, but she kiss you goodbye, and I stay real, nigga. I live and die for the black, I live and die for the past. I'm spitting rhymes and facts. Now I think you get the message, so there might be a rap. This paper chasing nigga makes this nigga life where it's at. No front, I'm a motherfucking nigga. Bitter as hell, bow down, it's the black part. Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in your town, No fuck, I'm a nigga. Bitter as hell, bow down, it's the black part. Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in your town, We the black, so be careful what you say to us. Repercussions is a must if you fuck with us. Got some foul niggas, killers waiting for the call. It's a real black bar, here to kill you all.
It's mainly cloudy to wrap up the weekend. South wind up to 35 kilometers per hour. Sunday being Groundhog Day. Looks like it'll be cloudy, no shadow if you believe in any of that hocus pocus. On Monday, it's partly cloudy. Warm start at 2 degrees. Heading up to a high by the afternoon. Today, we're heading up to a high temperature of 2 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, it is -1, feeling like a -3 under a partly cloudy sky. And over at Pearson Airport, it's -3, feeling like -5. Coming up at 1 o'clock, the latest on a multiple shooting in the downtown core, leaving 5 young adult males shot, some with life-threatening injuries. 6 City News time at 12:54.
Why shop the box stores for a new garage
crazy.
when you've got Dodds Garage
That's
Doors?
crazy.
Serving the GTA and you with well-priced garage doors and openers for over 60 years. Offering the Dodds exclusive Platinum Series and other quality brands like CHI overhead doors. Contact Dodds, DODDS. Or do repair service at DoddsDoors.com. Remember, no one does better than Dodds does. No one.
When you need to know.
Breaking news.
It's a massive weather system we're watching, spanning from Texas to the Maritimes. Traffic. Just pull over Highway 400 and southbound 400. Slow approaching Teston to south of Rutherford.
What the fuck are you fucking doing?
This moisture-laden Texas low has triggered widespread rainfall warnings across the GTA.
When you need to know.
We're here.
This is 680 News.
Jenny Cooper, who's dead?
Death is her living.
I am just trying to put a picture together of how he died.
And she, until she uncovers the truth.
You know, it is my mission as coroner to speak for the dead so that I can protect the living.
Don't miss the hit drama series, Coroner.
Still going? Holy
Monday
fuck.
at 9 on CBC.
It's It's nice to have a guarantee that your money will grow because your kids are guaranteed to grow.
Mom, my shoes are too small.
Thankfully, HSBC Bank offers a GIC with 2.18% interest, so you'll be ready for anything.
Mom, my shoes are too small.
Again, take a step towards financial wellness today. Get 2.18% per annum on a 218-day non-redeemable GIC for new deposits. For full details, visit hsbc.ca/grow. HSBC Bank. Together we thrive.
680 News Time, 12:56. Now the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Mike Epple. The latest signals for Canada's economy are still not giving a clear sign whether the Bank of Canada should be cutting interest rates. The November
You gotta
growth print
count
from Stats Canada showed an expansion.
how many people are
for the
carrying
economy
bags
of
of
a tenth
empties
of
back to the
1%,
Bear
which was better
store
than expected, but still mediocre.
on Saturday
According to
morning?
Doug Porter, chief economist at BMO Capital Markets.
But I think from a very big picture, when we look beyond some of the special factors, such as the CN strike, the potash mine shutdown, and usually cold weather in November. And
23
in much of the
airlines
country,
going
I think
bankrupt.
the bigger story is that the Canadian economy is just grinding out very modest underlying growth. In the last 5 months, or the 5 months up to November, there was almost no growth in the Canadian economy after a pretty good first half.
So does this change anything for the central bank's wait-and-see policy on interest rates?
I think the best way for the bank to play this is almost exactly what they've done, and that is stay on the sidelines for now, but basically flag that if something further goes wrong in a meaningful way here, that they are prepared to cut.
Perhaps, though, moderating growth signals and concern about consumers, but more emphasis on the January jobs report, which is coming up this week. Royce Mendez, executive director and senior economist at CIBC Capital Markets.
Next week's labor force survey will be extremely important in that if we continue to see weakness in the labor market, that's going to be weighing on the minds of those at the Bank of Canada, since household spending has been really what the governor has been focused on in terms of whether or not the weakness is persistent enough to justify that rate cut. The risks are obviously that there could be an additional debt accumulation on the parts of many Canadian households, but if the unemployment rate is rising, it will at some point become more important to support the incomes of those households to be able to pay the existing debt that's already been taken out.
What if they just don't pay the debt? What happens to your precious banking system if they just say, fuck it, we're not paying you?
You're catering away.
We're going to spend our cash on groceries and rent.
About the hors d'oeuvres. My
Fuck
aunt
your
was
credit
asking
card.
if you do corporate events.
You look out across all those guests. Your smile beams. Your heart pounds. This is the moment when the right business card is essential, and Vistaprint can help. Right now, we're introducing free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. So now imagine that same wedding, but this time you're ready to own the now with a stack of business cards that are as enticing as your entrees. And Vistaprint caters to any small business. You choose the paper, the shape, and the finish. Go with a square card, or maybe one with rounded corners and a metallic finish. Whatever your style, create a card that gives you the confidence to make the most of every opportunity. Because either you let things happen,
Little
or you
pieces of
make
paper
things
from the
happen.
rolling papers package.
Now at
That's my business
Vistaprint.ca,
card.
get free
Write
shipping
my
on
number
all
on that.
business cards in any quantity. Use promo code 6262
I do it as I go.
That's Vistaprint.ca. Promo
Print
code
on demand.
6262. Limited time
With
only.
handwriting recognition and everything.
Go
Faster.
the most traffic in Toronto. 680 News.
Taking a look now at your regional weather conditions in Brampton, -3, a few clouds there. Similar conditions over in Richmond Hill, -2. In Oshawa, -4, a few clouds there. In Oakville, -3 and a partly cloudy sky. And in Hamilton, -2 and overcast. Downtown Toronto right now, it's -1, feeling more like a chilly -3 under a partly cloudy sky. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. 680 News time, it's 1 o'clock.
Tell us about these people getting shot. Five people get shot.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto. Good morning. This is Saturday, February the 1st. I'm Tim Chapman.
And I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here's what's making news this hour.
Police continue to investigate after 5 men were shot in the Fort York area. 3 of them are now fighting for their lives.
Fort
Elementary
York.
teachers of Ontario and the
What you
province
doing down
failed to
there?
reach an agreement, which means escalating strike action next week.
As the number of coronavirus
Feed
cases
seagulls and
surpasses
shit. Like, what the fuck
11,000
you doing down
globally,
there?
Ontario health officials confirmed the province's third case. This as the U.S. U.S. declares a public health emergency. More than 11,000 coronavirus cases confirmed worldwide, with at least 250 deaths. And as Ontario's third case is confirmed, the U.S. has declared a public health emergency.
Critical mass was reached a few days ago.
Coach Team Giannis at the 2020 NBA All-Star Game in Chicago, and Alexander Ovechkin continues to move up the all-time lists.
And coming up in business, Canadians played it safe, and many are regretting their career choices. We'll hear from an expert on what to keep in mind if you are planning to make a change this year.
Big City News Time 101.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger. Well, we've got a fairly quiet drive on the major highways. We're just seeing one spot where we've got delays. That's the eastbound 401 collectors. It's jammed from Victoria Park to Warden, and that's because construction in the two right lanes forcing all the traffic to merge over into the single left lane. That's what's causing the jam up. If you don't need to be in the collectors there, the express is moving fine. As part of that construction, the northbound Victoria Park ramp onto the highway is closed, and the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden is also closed. So if you are in the collectors through that stretch, again, the only ramp you can use is Victoria Park. So again, if you don't need to be in there, if you're approaching the 404, use that transfer into the express, and then you can get back into the collectors east of Warden. You'll only miss the Victoria Park and Warden ramps. And again, you cannot access Warden anyways. Rest of the drive on the eastbound 401 is in good shape. Other side of the highway, westbound 401, it's up to speed all the way across the city. We've got one spot of construction at Dixon in Durham Region, crews working in the left lane, but again, no delays there. DVP northbound, southbound, it's up to speed. Gardner eastbound and westbound, no delays. QEW is up to speed in both directions. A little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie, crews working in the right lane. 427 is moving well in both directions. We do have construction northbound 427 at Rathburn in the express. Crews working in the right lane. We also had construction northbound 427 ramp to Finch in the left lane. That just cleared, as did the construction on the southbound 427 at Finch. Left lane of that ramp was blocked as well. That has now cleared. Your next traffic report is at 1:11 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
Slightly warmer temperatures and a few snow showers this weekend. Accumulation looks to be fairly minimal, although the east end of the GTA could pick up 1 to 2 centimeters. Daytime highs today expected near 2 degrees. It'll be a mainly cloudy sky. Snow showers arriving by the evening, and winds out of the south up to about 25 kilometers per hour. Today's high temperature, 2 with the forecast.
Downtown Toronto, it's -1, feeling like -3 under a partly cloudy sky, and over at Pearson Airport, -3, feeling like -5. 6 City News Time 103.
An otherwise quiet night in Fort York is disrupted by a shooting that sent 5 men to hospital. 3 are in life-threatening condition, and 1 is in serious condition.
Constable Greg Breedster tells 6 City News the paramedics are investigating in the area of Bathurst and Front Street.
So officers are currently at the scene right now investigating. Up to now, we have located 4 victims. Ambulances is on scene right now, attending to those victims.
We do not yet know what led to the shooting or who is responsible at this time.
6 City News Time 104.
The guy with the gun.
A renewed round of contract talks between Ontario elementary teachers and the government broke down with no deal, meaning their strikes will escalate next week. Union President Sam Hammond says every effort was made, but it became clear the Ford government wasn't willing to address key issues. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says the government affirmed its commitment to maintaining full-day kindergarten, but pay and benefits remain a top priority for union leaders. Cynthia Mulligan of City News has more on the ongoing war of words between the two sides.
Both sides are fighting for public approval, which can strengthen their positions. And for the most part, they don't agree with each other's messaging. EDFO has been putting out ads like this on Facebook.
The forced cuts mean too many students aren't getting the help they need.
Now, the government maintains it's putting more money than ever into education and denies there are cuts. The education minister has been putting out his own messaging with multiple interviews and statements. In an interview on Wednesday, the education minister told City News the Union for Public Elementary Teachers was making a new demand around hiring based on seniority. And that's new? So they've added a new demand?
That's a new element.
But the union has listed that as a demand in at least 2 news releases, one in June and another in November.
Cynthia Mulligan, City News. 6 City News Time 105. There is now a 3rd Ontario case of the novel coronavirus. This as the death toll rises to at least 250 in China, with nearly 12,000 people infected. 6 Cities Meg Black has the details on how health professionals are dealing with coronavirus concerns.
A London woman in her 20s who returned from Wuhan last Thursday is now Ontario's third case. That brings the country's count up to 4. Western University spokesperson Jennifer Massey confirms the woman is a student, but there is low risk of transmission.
So the student has been in isolation and has not visited the campus since coming into contact with the virus.
She only left home for testing, and the initial results came back negative. Now, Chief Medical Officer of Health David Williams says results were updated upon further testing at the National Microbiology Lab. Patty Hajdu, the Federal Minister of Health, says she's working closely with Ontario. And despite this new case, she's reassuring Canadians that the risk of contracting the virus remains low. I'm Meg Black.
Meanwhile, coronavirus concerns continue to grow outside of China. The United States recently evacuated 200 Americans from China and declared a public health emergency. 6 Cities' Michelle Mackey reports.
Among the temporary measures to better detect and contain the coronavirus, President Trump has suspended the entry of foreign nationals who pose a risk of transmitting 2019 coronavirus. U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Alex Azar making the announcement.
Basically Chinese people.
Foreign nationals, other than immediate family of U.S. citizens and permanent residents who have traveled in China within the last 14 days, will be denied entry into the United States.
Furthermore, any U.S. citizen who has returned from China's Hubei province within the last 14 days is subject to a mandatory 2-week quarantine. These regulations go into effect 5 p.m. Sunday. However, Secretary Azar says the risk of infection remains low, and instituting the emergency declaration is a means of keeping it that way. I'm Michelle Mackey.
Meantime, a Toronto doctor says that the current moment the flu poses a bigger risk to the Canadian population than the coronavirus. According to Sick Kids ER doctor Dina Kulik, so far the contagion and death rate seems relatively low, especially in Canada, where we only have a few cases. She stresses the flu is much more common right now with hundreds of thousands of cases across the country. Plus, she says we now know how to prevent it.
There is an influenza vaccine, and yet people aren't getting it. And that is scary and shocking and a bit disturbing to me.
She says about 2,000 people in Canada die from the flu every year.
6 City News Time 1:08. A chemical fire was extinguished after hazmat crews were called to the train tracks near Downsview Park. According to Toronto Fire, 2 tankers containing asphalt lit up in flames. No injuries have been reported, and the Barrie GO transit line held for a few hours near Downsview Park Station. Toronto Fire Chief Matthew Pegg tells 6 City News that chemical fires like these are quite challenging to deal with, as they tend to turn into long-duration incidents.
Yeah, that shit will burn all fucking day.
And the GO trains are moving.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. Toronto police are issuing a public safety alert for stolen medication that includes fentanyl, oxycontin, and hydromorphine, and can be harmful or fatal if ingested. They say the drugs were stolen from the area of Islington and Steeles Avenue, and if you find the drugs, do not touch them. Immediately call police.
This is 680 News. Well, it wouldn't be a weekend in the city without
you're going to share,
online
right? So I
are once again facing service disruptions. The TTC is shutting down subway service between Finch and Eglinton until Monday, when it's expected to resume. During the closure, workers will be installing a signal system. The TTC is also closing at North York Centre Station, but commuters will be able to buy fares and access ground routes at any other station. Coming up, traffic and weather together on the ones. But first, we'll check on the price at the pumps. 680 News Time 109.
This is 680 News. Did you miss filing your taxes? Did you let 1 year turn into many? Boxes of paper, lost documents, disorganized, confused. Don't know where to start? What to do next? We do. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants. We deal with this every day. It's never too late. Start sleeping at night. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants now at pound tax. That's the pound sign tax. Or visit markfeldstein.ca.
Now the 680 News gas price update. As Enpro predicted, the price dropped 1 cent at midnight to $1.09.9 a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News Time 110.
Every small to medium-sized business has one. The IT guy that isn't really an IT guy that everyone depends on to fix their IT problems.
At first, it was no big deal. Just people looking to change a password or print something. Next thing I know, we're talking DDoS attacks, cloud migration, and something called autocation.
Oh boy.
Do you have any idea how much money this company loses every time the server goes down?
As a matter of fact...
Who do these people think I am? Some kind of tech head ninja code writing cloud hosting guru?
Actually, that sounds exactly like us.
I'm the president.
Server just crashed again.
I don't have time for this.
That's okay, because we do. We're Apps on Net.
Apps on what?
Apps on Net. And we're it when it comes to managed IT services for small to medium-sized business.
Go on.
Endpoint support, network security, proactive maintenance.
Cloud hosting?
100%.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
Sold.
Get the relief you need with IT support from Apps on Net. Visit us online at allgainnopain.ca or call 1-855-255-4667. That's 1-855-ALL-G-NO-P.
6 City News Time, 1:11. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
Oh,
Well, it's got a pretty good drive on all the major highways. Just looking at one spot where we're seeing delays, that's the eastbound 401 collectors just east of Victoria Park. They've got construction set up in the 2 right lanes. Now, it was really jammed from Victoria Park all the way to Warden. Looks like things are starting to lighten up now, just minor delays through that stretch. You can still avoid it all if you are in the express. As part of that construction, the northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed, as is the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden. Again, if you're in the express, if you're not exiting at Victoria Park, you don't need to be in the collectors and you can avoid it. Approaching the 404, use that transfer, and then the next transfer back into the collectors is east of Warden, and you'll miss all the delays. Rest of the drive on the eastbound 401 in good shape. We do have some construction approaching Brock Street, crews working in the left lane, but everything's up to speed. Other side of the highway, westbound 401, some construction in almost the exact same spot there, just past Dixon, approaching Brock Street, crews in the left lane as well. Again, everything is up to speed. Rest of the drive on the westbound 401 is in great shape. DVP 404, northbound, southbound, no problems. Gardner's up to speed in both directions. So is the QEW. A little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie, crews working in the right lane. 403, 410, 427 are all up to speed. Northbound 427, some construction at Rathburn in the express, crews working in the right lane there. Looking off of the major highways onto city streets, Bakersfield Street closed in both directions between Shepherd and Ashwarren. Bakersfield is right off Shepherd, just near Downsview Park subway station, and that is closed because of a tanker fire that happened there last night. The next traffic report is at 1:21 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
Starting out February on a above seasonal note, 2 in the forecast,
Tank,
mainly
how the fuck does it
cloudy.
catch fire?
We'll see some peaks of sunshine early on, and then that cloud builds in. Snow showers throughout the overnight could leave a dusting of snow. As we make our way into Sunday, we have another round of snow showers expected that could leave 1 to 2 centimeters in the east end of the GTA, with a dusting possible for the west. We'll see that snow shower activity wrapping up by about midday with a high
You can't even have the same weather. Like, we're that divided as a city.
Today, mainly cloudy, snow showers possible by the evening, and a high of 2.
Right now, downtown Toronto, -1 and partly cloudy. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions and a -3. Blue Jays icon Tony Fernandez is reportedly in critical condition. Fernandez revealed in 2017 that he suffers from polycystic kidney disease. The disorder causes cyst clusters to develop in the kidneys, causing them to grow and lose function over time. According to a report from the Dominican Republic, Fernandez has suffered complications from the disease. Fernandez signed as an amateur free agent with the Blue Jays in 1979. The 57-year-old is currently honored on the club's level of excellence at Rogers Center. Still to come on 6 City News, a list of your top stories and sports. 6 City News Time, 1:14.
Happy Chinese New Year! Mandarin is back with our Dumpling Festival for a limited time to celebrate Chinese New Year in style. Enjoy favorite dumplings like beef pot stickers, siu mai, har gao, and tasty banana dumplings for dessert. Plus, choose from other Chinese New Year features added to our award-winning buffet of over 100 dishes. Don't miss it. Chinese New Year at Mandarin ends February 23rd, while supplies last.
A celebration of days.
This one makes me laugh. Silk Road.
The world's biggest tennis stars battle it out this summer at the Aviva Center in Toronto. Reigning champion Rafa Nadal, homegrown Canadian talent Denis Shapovalov and Felix Auger-Aliassime, and 4-time winner Novak Djokovic. With so much to love, don't miss the Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank. Single session tickets on sale now. Book now at RogersCup.com.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. It's -1 and partly cloudy. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Tim Chapman. For the top stories this hour, police continue to investigate a shooting in the Fort York area that left 5 men with gunshot wounds, 3 of them with life-threatening injuries. There's no word on suspects at this time. No deal between elementary teachers and the province, which means an escalation in strike action next week.
We're always talking about cell cases.
The government affirmed its commitment to maintaining full-day kindergarten, but paid benefits remain a top priority for union leaders. A Western University student is the province's latest coronavirus concern. She returned from Wuhan last Thursday. The federal minister of health says despite the risk to the public remains low. And coming up after sports, the Republican majority prevails in the impeachment trial of U.S. President Donald Trump. 680 News Time, 1:15. Now, 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 to 10. Here's Sheila Lee.
Thanks, guys. Well, the Raptors beat the Pistons with a pretty convincing 105-92 win down in Detroit.
13-point lead for the Raptors, and that'll do it. 105-92, the final, as Nick Nurse and his coaching staff will head to Chicago and coach in the NBA All-Star Game.
Pascal Siakam led all scorers with 30 points, while Serge Ibaka added 21 points himself. The All-Star Game is in Chicago over Family Day weekend, in case you're wondering. Some finals from the NHL. The Penguins beat the Flyers 4-3 in overtime. Bruins beat the Jets 2-1. Golden Knights beat the Hurricanes 4-3. And a milestone in the Capitals' 5-3 win over the Ottawa Senators. Alexander Ovechkin scored 2 goals, and with them, he passed Mark Messier to take sole possession of 8th place on the NHL's all-time goals list. And the Leafs, meanwhile, were off. They'll play again on Saturday evening against the visiting Senators down at Scotiabank Arena. That game will be on CBC and Sportsnet 1. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 1:17.
Hello, Loblaws shoppers, specifically Paul, who's planning a party for the big game. I'm your snack coach, Paul. Here to make sure your party food is on point.
Okay.
Rush to the hot counter, tackle a bucket of 36 chicken wings and potato wedges, a 2-liter Pepsi beverage, and select varieties of Ruffles, Doritos, or Tostitos snacks, and earn 3,500 PC Optima points.
Touchdown. Oh, wait. Spicy or mild?
Just get the wings, Paul. Conditions apply. Offer valid until February 5th, 2020, only at participating Loblaws locations. Food lovers unite.
Something's always coming up. Home improvements, kids' education, car repairs, credit card bills. Maybe you even saw a real deal on an investment property. Well, don't wait for the money to fall from the sky. Call Northwood Mortgage and start taking care of business. Use your home to save money. Pay off your mortgage faster. See why Canadians have turned to Northwood Mortgage for over a quarter of a century.
Northwood Mortgage.
Visit NorthwoodMortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
10349. 680 News Time, 1:18. U.S. Senate Republicans have successfully staved off a call for witnesses at the Trump impeachment trial.
The motion is not agreed to.
The Republican majority prevailed as the U.S. Senate voted late Friday afternoon against calling witnesses to testify in the impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. The tally was 51-49, with Republican Susan Collins of Maine and Mitt Romney of Utah siding with Democrats. Shortly after the vote, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer was blunt in his assessment.
If the president is acquitted with no witnesses, no documents, the acquittal will have no value.
The timing of the Senate vote squarely linked with politics. The first in the nation Iowa caucuses are Monday, and the president gives his State of the Union address Tuesday night. Mike Gracia, Washington.
680 News Time, 1:19. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump is signing an order that creates a post focused on human trafficking.
Besides the new White House job in the Domestic Policy Council, the president's executive order on human trafficking expands prevention education programs and prioritizes removal of child sexual abuse material from the internet.
Human traffickers prey on their most vulnerable citizens and people. They're vicious, they're violent.
The president calls human trafficking modern-day slavery.
We will not rest until we've stopped every last human trafficker and liberated every last survivor.
Eric Schwartz, president of Refugees International, criticized the administration's stand on human trafficking, saying victims are endangered by a chipping away of their legal protections. Ed Donahue, Washington.
And Britain has officially left the European Union after 47 years of membership.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson calls Brexit not an end, but a beginning, a moment he sees of real national renewal and change. But of course, time will tell. Opportunities will present themselves, but the European exit is also a gamble, a huge gamble that could be paid in a weakened economy and job losses, at least in the short term. The road, however, is now open. The stage is set. Britain's fate now rests solely in its own hands. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Coming up, traffic and weather together, 680 News Time, 120.
If you work hard and play harder, then the Covenant House Guts and Glory Team Obstacle Challenge is for you. This unique athletic fundraiser will help homeless youth while building team spirit and pushing individual limits. 45 teams of 6 will compete in the ultimate face-off. 10 top obstacles will test your speed, agility, strength, and power. You will feel the adrenaline. Do you have the guts? It's all about the glory. Raise more than your heart rate this February. Learn more at gutsglorychallenge.ca.
Do you suffer from CRA male anxiety? Does the sight of a brown envelope make you sweat? Are the envelopes piling up? Don't know where to start? We do at Mark Feldstein and Associates. We deal with this every day. It's time to take control and start sleeping at night. Call Mark Feldstein and Associates, chartered accountants now at Pound Tax. That's the # tax. Or visit markfeldstein.ca. So the next time you see a brown envelope, think Pound Tax.
680 News Time, 121. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger. Well, we're still seeing some delays eastbound 401 collectors just east of Victoria Park. Construction in the 2 right lanes there, so slow from that stretch over to Warden. That's getting much better, though. About 20 minutes ago, it was completely jammed from Victoria Park to Warden. Now it's just minor delays. As part of that construction, the northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed. The eastbound 401 ramp to Warden is closed as well. If you don't need to be in the collectors, if you're not exiting at Victoria Park, get into the express. That's moving fine. You'll avoid any of the slowdown. That's the only spot where we're seeing delays on the eastbound 401s. More construction approaching Brock Street. Left lane is gone, but that's up to speed. Other side of the highway, westbound 401, it is up to speed all the way across the city. We've got a little bit of construction at Thixon. Crews working in the left lane, but again, with the light traffic, there's no delays. 404 DVB northbound, southbound, it's up to speed. Gardner's looking good in both directions. So is the QEW. So construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Crews working in the right lane. 403, 410, 427, all up to speed. A little bit more construction northbound 427 at Rathburn in the express. Crews are working in the right lane there. But other than that, the northbound 427 is moving well. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, there's no delays. Your next traffic report is at 1:31. Now with the forecast, here's Adam Stiles.
We're looking at a mainly cloudy sky as we head through the afternoon. 2 degrees in the forecast. No showers expected this evening. Winds are going to be out of the south up to about 25 kilometers per hour. Overnight, snow showers on and off. Just a coating of snow expected. And then another round on Sunday morning. This one's going to be producing a little bit more snow, so areas in the east end could see 1 to 2 centimeters. Downtown, just a dusting expected. It'll be cloudy for Sunday. The reason that's somewhat significant, if you believe in the folklore of the groundhog, it is Groundhog Day. 3 degrees in the forecast there for Sunday, and then on Monday we'll see a few more peaks of sunshine and a daytime high of 6 degrees. Today, it's a high temperature of 2 in the forecast.
Right now, downtown Toronto, -1 and partly cloudy. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions and a -3. Remember, 680 News is the only radio station with a weather guarantee. Today's jackpot stands at $14,200. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the latest on an ongoing investigation in Fort York after 5 men were shot, 3 of them critically. Escalating tensions between elementary teachers and the province, as well as growing coronavirus concerns here at home. 680 News Time, 124.
Scotiabank focused on small business.
No matter what type of small business you run or plan to run, don't miss the special small business features each weekend now through February on 680 News. Get the keys to success in 2020 with topics covering everything from the importance of making a business plan to branding, technology, and business banking.
For a limited time, open
the right size account for business.
The right
and a
size.
Business credit solution, and you can get $100. Certain conditions apply.
I need
Talk to
an
a
account that
Scotiabank
comes with like $1
advisor
million
today.
in it.
When you
That's
need
the
to
size
know.
for me.
Breaking news. Here's how the 2020 budget will affect your family's bottom line. Traffic. Just flow over the DVP and Lakeshore again, where we have issues with the traffic lights. Weather.
North of that, freezing rain overnight. South of that, it's going to remain as just rain.
When you need to know.
We're here.
This is 680 News.
The 680 News. Sunday is a Groundhog Day, so here is how that works. If the groundhog sees a shadow, he gets scared and goes back into his burrow. And that means 6 more weeks of winter. No
What if he
shadow,
sees a
sits
shadow and
inside,
says,
bringing
"Fuck
early
you,
spring."
shadow"?
680's Mark
What-
Douglas
like, what
is
happens
counting
then?
down to Ironton Willie's prediction at 8:07 sharp Sunday morning.
Depending on what you consider to be early spring-like weather, Wyerton Willie is between 75 and 90% accurate, but you should take those numbers with a grain of road salt because those estimates come from the organizers of the Wyerton Willie Festival.
Whatever
You
happens,
didn't double check
I'm
them with
sure
like
Willie's
Reddit
gonna
or
predict
something?
this bang on.
South Bruce Peninsula Mayor Janice Jackson gets the honor of bending down her ear to the albino marsupial to hear his prediction Sunday
So he's
morning.
an albino
And
too.
even though the Groundhog Day forecast for Wyerton calls for clouds with a chance of flurries,
A lot of times up here it could be snowing and it could be bright and sunny at the same time. So it's really hard
Yeah,
to
we
say what
know.
we're
It's
gonna see.
fucking Ontario. It's like that.
680 News Time on 25.
Hi, it's Ivanka
Oh, a
Osman.
bright sunny day
Normally,
and
I'm a
it's
sports
snowing.
anchor for
And
Sportsnet,
there's
but
rain
today
and
I'm spreading the news
wind
about Sleep
and
Country's Aquagel pillow. To be
salt.
honest, I'd never even heard of a gel pillow before their sleep experts suggested I try it out, and I am glad they did. The pillow is so comfortable. It's made with a water-based gel, so it's a super breathable alternative to memory foam that cradles your neck and keeps you cool. I've always been a little picky about my pillow, but that was totally embraced when I went to Sleep Country. Their sleep experts are sleep obsessed. It was amazing to see all the options they could recommend based on just a few things I told them about my sleeping habits. So really, no matter how you sleep, I'm sure they'll be able to recommend
my
a great pillow
eyes
to you.
open.
Plus, right now, when you buy one Aquagel
And my
pillow,
mouth
you get a
closed.
second Aquagel pillow free. Get matched to your perfect pillow at Sleep Country or order online at sleepcountry.ca today. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
On 126, now the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Carl Garnish. Canadians are craving a career change. According to a national survey of more than 1,300 career service
Canadians
professionals
are
of
craving some
Canadian charity
income.
CEREC, more than 7 in 10 people who see a career counselor or coach wished they had made different decisions earlier in their
Yeah,
lives.
those are people who
With
go
more
to a
than
career
58%
counselor. What the
regretting
fuck?
that they narrowed their options so soon. John Horn, chair of the board of directors for CEREC, says for some Canadians, they played it safe even when they knew it was not the right fit.
Maybe they knew at the time, maybe they had a suspicion, had a child or a dog or a mortgage, and felt a bit locked into it. The pressure part totally makes sense when oftentimes career practitioners are not the ones who are sought out for career advice.
From the findings, just over
You should
51%
become
of Canadians
a
agree
career
that most of us feel
counselor or
if we
coach.
only follow our passion, we will land that dream job. But Horn says there are many resources available to help us find that right fit.
Digital content that's self-serve and probably free, or how they might kind of connect with a career practitioner in their community or in their organization to get those insights from an expert, in addition to the perspective
You're
from a
not sitting at
parent
home
or
watching
a peer,
YouTube.
TV
You're-
show or a teacher or professor who have opinions
It's
for sure,
self-serve
have perspective
media
for sure, but often
content.
that perspective is often not compared to the perspective and expertise of a career
Prepare you to
practitioner.
For
change
those looking to make a
careers.
career shift this year, Horn says there are a
Jobs
few things
that
to keep
don't
in
exist
mind.
yet.
Really focus on those foundational capabilities around resilience, coping skills, adaptability, and agility to be flexible and accurate.
John Horn is chair of the board of directors for CEREC. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnish.
Every small to medium-sized business has one. The IT guy that isn't really an IT guy that everyone depends on to fix their IT problems.
At first, it was no big deal. Just people looking to change a password or print something. Next thing I know, we're talking DDoS attacks, cloud migration, and something called autocation.
Oh boy.
Do you have any idea how much money this company loses every time the server goes down?
As a matter of fact,
Who do these people think I am? Some kind of tech head ninja code writing cloud hosting guru?
actually, that sounds exactly like us.
I'm the president.
Never just passed again.
I don't have time for this.
That's okay, because we do. We're Apps on Net.
Apps on what?
Apps on Net, and we're it when it comes to managed IT services for small to medium-sized business.
Go on.
Endpoint support, network security, proactive maintenance.
Cloud hosting?
100%
Guaranteed?
guaranteed.
Sold.
Get the relief you need with IT support from Apps on Net. Visit us online at allgainnopain.ca or call 1-855-255-4667. That's 1-855-ALL-G-NO-P.
Right now, downtown Toronto, -1 and partly cloudy. 6 City News time. 1:30.
Oh, gee, no
#1
keys.
for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good morning. This is Saturday, February the 1st. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Tim Chapman. Here's what's making news this hour.
3 young men are fighting for their life after 5 people in total were shot in the downtown core.
Strikes
But
by
the cops said they located
elementary
4.
teachers will escalate next week after contract
You
talks
literally
break
said a
down
different
yet
number
again.
than they're saying.
Globally, over 11,000 people have now contracted the coronavirus. This
Don't
as
worry.
news of Ontario's third confirmed case and a public health emergency declared in the United States. As the number of coronavirus cases surpasses 10,000 globally, Ontario health officials confirm the province's third
Well, they got
case.
the,
This
got
as
the
the
Americans
U.S. declares
panicking?
a public
Wow.
health emergency.
The Raptors whooped the Pistons and sent Nick Nurse to the All-Star game, while Alex Ovechkin's 2 goals moves him past Mark Messier on the all-time goal list. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, sometimes finding the right employee means thinking outside the box. A recruiting firm offers some insight on the mistakes many companies make.
6 City News time, 1:31.
Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Michael Ranger.
This report brought to you by Monte Carlo Inn. Still seeing some minor delays eastbound 401 collectors just east of Victoria Park. They've got construction set up in the 2 right lanes, so it's just a single left lane getting through. So slow from east of Victoria Park to Warden, and then everything gets back up to speed. As part of that construction, northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed, as is the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden. The Express moving fine through that stretch, so if you don't need to be in the collectors, if you're not getting off at Victoria Park, as you're approaching the 404, use the transfer into the Express. You can get back into the collector lanes east of Warden. Further along the eastbound 401 approaching Broad Street, more construction there. Crews working in the left lane, but with the light traffic, that isn't causing any delays. Other side of the highway, westbound 401 at Dixon, crews in the left lane there as well. Same story, light traffic, so no delays at this time. Rest of the drive on the westbound 401 is in great shape. It's moving all the way across the city. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, it's moving well. 404 DVP, same thing, northbound, southbound, no delays. Gardner's moving well in both directions. So is the QEW. Just got a little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Crews are working in the right lane. A little bit more construction northbound 427 at Rathburn in the Express. Crews working in the right lane there as well, but no delays. All your other major routes are up to speed. Looking for a wonderful winter escape right now at Monte Carlo Inns? You can save 20% on a luxury suite. Go to montecarloinns.com and enter the promo code WINTER. Your next traffic report is at 1:41 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
We've got a mainly cloudy sky for most of the day today. If you do want some sunshine, early on is going to be your best bet. By the evening hours, snow showers rolling through. Winds out of the south up to 25 kilometers per hour. Fairly gray for the afternoon hours with a high temperature near 2 degrees.
Right now, downtown Toronto,
when you say
-1 and
25,
partly
later
cloudy
on
over
you
at
end up
Pearson
saying
Airport.
30,
Similar
40, maybe
conditions and
50.
-3.
I
6 City
don't
News
trust
time,
your answer.
1:33.
Those winds are not going to be 20. They're going to be something other than 25.
Males have been shot. 3 of them are in life-threatening condition. A 4th victim has serious gunshot wounds but is expected to survive, while others only have minor injuries.
Paramedics say the call came in just before 10:30 last night. Constable Craig Brister with Toronto Police says officers
This is what I'm talking about. They don't tell us shit when it's happening. They tell us the next day.
Anything to call police or to call contact Crime Stoppers.
Stay with 6 City News for more on this story.
6 City News time, 1:34. Strikes by Ontario elementary teachers will escalate next week after the collapse of renewed contract talks.
Yesterday,
The union
Friday,
had said
Thursday?
teachers would walk out at each board twice a week starting Monday if no
See
deal
that
was
in writing.
reached. Education Minister Stephen Lecce shares the government's stance on recent events.
Over the past days, we've been negotiating with a single focus on getting a deal that keeps your child in class. Part of that commitment is to underscore that we're being reasonable and focused on your kids, which is why I have affirmed in writing that we will be maintaining Ontario's world-class kindergarten program. I've always said that the issue at the table continues to be a contrast of priorities. The contrast could not be more clear in this negotiation. But for the government, we're going to continue to work hard, to be reasonable, to keep kids in class where they belong. While the mediator has called off the discussions for now, we stand ready to meet at any time to reach a deal.
The two sides spent 3 days at the bargaining table. No new dates are scheduled, and a province-wide strike is planned for Thursday.
680 News Time, 1:35. Case number 3 of coronavirus has popped up here in Ontario. A Western University student who had recently returned from Wuhan, China. 680's Meg Black has more info on the province's newest case.
Live in a dorm?
Another case of coronavirus confirmed right here in Ontario, and it's now the youngest case in the country.
A female in her 20s who arrived asymptomatic.
Western University confirms she is a student, but Jennifer Massey, Associate VP of Student Experience, says she hasn't stepped foot on campus since returning from Wuhan last Thursday.
The risk to the campus remains very low. Classes are continuing. The university is open.
Dr. Chris Mackey, medical officer for the Middlesex London Health Unit, says she wore a mask and did not experience any symptoms throughout her travels. And when she felt ill at home, she immediately put herself into isolation.
The only time she's been out of her home
I'm
since
in
then is to
isolation
hospital
right now.
for testing, and again, for the equivalent of a surgical mask, to protect others.
However, her initial test in Ontario came back negative, and novel coronavirus was not confirmed until samples were sent to the National Microbiology Lab in Winnipeg. And that's the first time that's happened. The woman has since recovered. I'm Meg Black.
Meantime,
So this
Chinese
test can
health
test
officials
negative,
are in the
false-
epicenter of the
false
coronavirus
negative.
outbreak.
That's
They
wonderful
report the number of
fucking news.
fatalities have grown to at least 250 with confirmed cases, higher than 11,300 worldwide. This comes as the
Assuming the
United
test
States
is right.
declares a public health emergency. 680's Michelle Mackey has the story.
Among the temporary measures invoked with this declaration, U.S.
I knew I
Secretary
needed
of
a
Health
third
and Human
joint.
Services Alex Azar says any U.S. citizen who has returned from China's Hubei province within the last 14 days is subject to up to a 2-week mandatory quarantine.
To ensure they are provided proper medical care and health screening.
Furthermore, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed a presidential
Are they gonna get a
proclamation
bill for that
suspending the
else?
entry of foreign nationals who have traveled within China in the last 14 days. This does not include immediate family members of U.S. citizens. However, Secretary
I'm gonna go
Azar
to
is also
California and
stressing
open a Wuhan
risk of
coronavirus
infection
clinic.
for Americans remains low.
the declaration will go into effect this Sunday at 5 p.m. I'm Michelle Mackey.
Meanwhile, a Toronto doctor
Why not
says
right
Canadians
now?
should be focusing on the flu rather than the coronavirus. According to Sick Kids ER physician Dina Kulich, it's much more common right now with the hundreds of thousands of cases across the country.
2 chemical tankers involved in fire. We have a record.
The death rate is higher. The infection rate is higher. It's in our backyard.
The pediatric emergency medicine doctor at Sick Kids says about 2,000 Canadians die from the influenza
The
virus
shit I
every
read
year.
said the
When it comes to protecting
coronavirus had a
yourself
higher
from the flu
fatality
or the coronavirus, she recommends being vigilant about hand hygiene, keeping away from sick people, and staying away from people if you're sick yourself.
You're listening to All News
I'm
Radio
sick in the
680
head.
News.
Is that what
The
you're
first
talking
Ontario
about?
Liberal leadership debate will happen this afternoon. 680's Richard Southern with a preview.
There are 6 candidates running to succeed Kathleen Wynne. They're hoping to turn around the Liberal Party fortunes after what was a disastrous election night in 2018. Stephen Del Duca, a former cabinet minister in the Wynne government, is considered to be the front runner at this point. Current Liberal MPPs Michael Coteau and Mitzi Hunter are both running, as is Alvin Tedjo, a former policy advisor at Queen's Park, as well Ottawa lawyer Brenda Hollingsworth has put her cap in the ring. TVO's Steve Paikin will host the debate, which takes place at 3 this afternoon. It'll be broadcast on TVO at 8 p.m. The Ontario Liberals no doubt have a huge hill to climb. They currently have just 6 seats in the legislature, but a recent poll said if the election was held today, they'd have a shot at forming government. Richard Southern, 680 News.
This is 680 News, All News Radio.
Are you commuting today? Just a heads up, the TTC has some service disruptions to keep in mind. Subway service on Line 1 will be shut down from Finch to Eglinton this weekend, and shuttle buses will be running. North York Center Station will also be closed, and Wheel-Trans commuters can talk to a TTC employee rather if they need some help. During the closure, workers will be installing a signaling system. Service is expected to resume on Monday.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the 160 News Time 1:39.
I got a call from some company called Numeris. Probably another survey. Wait, you need to take that call. You love radio and TV, right? Yeah, so? Yeah, so? Wouldn't you like to have a say in how to shape it? Numeris are the ones that gather that information. Really?
All these
Yeah,
people have email
Numeris.
accounts?
Take the call. All right, I will.
Have your say. Brought to you by Radio Connects. Learn more at numeris.ca and be a part of all the great stuff you listen to and watch.
Now, the 60 News gas price update, as Emperor predicted, the price dropped 1 cent at midnight to $1.09.9 a liter at most GTA stations. 60 News Time 1:40.
Hello, Loblaws shoppers, specifically Paul, who's planning a party for the big game. I'm your snack coach, Paul, here to make sure your party food is on point.
Okay.
Rush to the hot counter, tackle a bucket of 36 chicken wings and potato wedges, a 2-liter Pepsi beverage, and select varieties of Ruffles, Doritos, or Tostitos snacks, and earn 3,500 PC Optimum points.
Touchdown. Oh, wait, spicy or mild?
Just get the wings, Paul. Conditions apply. Offer valid until February 5th, 2020, only at participating Loblaws locations. Food lovers unite.
Northwood Mortgage people work harder to find solutions just for you. One example, Northwood regularly helps families get into new homes after the bank has turned them down. Unlike the big banks, Northwood Mortgage is more flexible. Northwood Mortgage listens and works harder to create a solution that's customized for you. Northwood Mortgage. Visit northwoodmortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
License 10349.
60 News Time 1:41. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Handing things over to Michael Ranger.
Well, major routes are moving well right now. We've just got one spot where we're seeing any kind of delays. That's the eastbound 401 and the collectors. They've got construction set up just east of Victoria Park over to Warden. 2 right lanes are blocked. It's just a single left lane open. So minor delays through that stretch. As part of that construction, northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed. Eastbound 401 ramp to Warden closed as well. The Express is moving fine through that area where the construction is. So if you get yourself into the Express, you'll avoid any of the delays. Continuing on the eastbound 401, approaching Broad Street, left lane blocked for construction, but with the light traffic, it is all up to speed through there. Looking at the other side of the highway, westbound 401 up to speed all the way across the city. There is one spot of construction at Dixon. Left lane is blocked. Highway 400 is up to speed in both directions. 404 DVP, northbound, southbound, no delays. Gardner Expressway looking good eastbound and westbound. QEW is up to speed in both directions as well. We do have some construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Crews working in the right lane. 403, 410, 427, all up to speed. A couple things to look out for. Northbound 427, approaching Rathburn in the Express, construction in the right lane. And then north of Rathburn, approaching the 401, a collision in the left lane. Emergency crews are on scene. Neither of those spots causing delays. Again, road is lightly traveled at this time. Looking off of the major highways onto city streets, we've got Bakersfield Street closed in both directions between Shepherd and Ashwarren. That's right near Downsview Park subway station, and that is because of a vehicle fire that happened there last night. Your next traffic report is at 1:51 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
It's going to be mainly cloudy for most of the day today.
Well, I
if you do
guess
want to
it's
get a
technically
quick
true.
fix of some sunshine, be out and about early in the day today. By the afternoon, mainly cloudy to cloudy. Snow showers expected. A high of 2 degrees in the forecast. Those snow showers continue throughout the evening. Likely just going to be a dusting or a coating of snow. -1 to start the day off on Sunday, and then along the warm front,
every day
there's the
these guys
possibility of
find
a
a way
few
to
more
blow
snow
my mind
showers.
with the phrase.
This could leave 1 to 2 centimeters of accumulation for the north and off toward the east end of the GTA with just a dusting here in Toronto. We'll see a high of 3 degrees to wrap up your weekend. South wind up to 35 kilometers per hour. Today, it's a high temperature of 2 that's in the forecast.
Downtown Toronto right now, -1, feeling like -4 under a partly cloudy sky. And over at Pearson Airport, -3, feeling like -5. 680 News Time 1:43. We have an update for you on the Fort York area shooting that occurred last night. Police chief has provided an update that the shooting was at an Airbnb downtown. A single shooting With 4 victims, 3 have now succumbed to their
Friday
injuries.
night.
The 4th victim is in non-life-threatening condition, and a 5th victim was not shot. He was cut and injured, but no further updates have been released at this time. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story. 680 News time, 1:44.
You're catering a wedding, and the bride says,
Everyone is raving about the hors d'oeuvres. My aunt was asking
He
if
thought
you
number
do
5 got away clean.
look out across all those
Oh.
guests. Your smile beams, your heart pounds. This
There's going to be a whole story to this. I just wonder if they're going to tell us what it
and
is.
Vistaprint can help. Right now, we're introducing free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. So now imagine that same wedding, but this time you're ready to own the now with a stack of business cards that are as enticing as your entrees. And Vistaprint caters to any small business. You choose the paper, the shape, and the finish. Go with a square card, or maybe one with rounded corners and a metallic finish. Whatever your style, create a card that gives you the confidence to make the most of every opportunity. Because either you let things happen, or you make things happen. Start now at Vistaprint.ca and get free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. Use promo code 6262 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.ca, promo code 6262. Limited time only.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's -1 under a partly cloudy sky. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here are the top stories this hour. Gunfire in the downtown core has killed 3 people and sent 2 others to hospital. Police are still searching for the suspect and a motive for the shooting.
Yeah,
Police are asking
what?
any witnesses to
That
come
story
forward.
changed quickly.
After 3 days at the bargaining table, strikes by Ontario elementary teachers will escalate next week after the collapse of renewed contract talks. A Western University student who had recently returned from Wuhan,
You just saw
China, is the
demonstrated
latest Canadian
something.
to be
You
confirmed
get
with
stabbed and they
coronavirus.
don't even
The death
mention
toll has
it.
grown to at least 250.
You get shot, you
and
make the
confirmed cases
news,
higher
you
than
die,
11,300
then you become a big story. Then you become maybe story number 2, sometimes number
of the Super
1.
Bowl from a zoo animal. 680 News time, 1:46.
We'll find out in about 14 minutes if it's story
The
number
fan,
1.
here's Joe Ali.
Thanks, guys. Well, the Raptors beat the Pistons by a final score of 105-92, and even though Nick Nurse is officially an all-star, he's giving credit to everyone.
We get to be the beneficiaries, I think, of a kind of an organizational award, right? You know, you get to go coach that thing. It's certainly a tremendous honor for us, but, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. And it should be a really enjoyable experience for our guys. It's neat. Like I said before the game, it's neat to be around that event. The greatest players in the world all under one roof.
Some finals from the NHL. The Penguins beat the Flyers 4-3 in overtime. Bruins beat the Jets 2-1, and a milestone in the Capitals' 5-3 win over the Senators. Alexander Ovechkin scored 2 goals, and with them, he passed Mark Messier to take sole possession of 8th place on the NHL all-time goals list. And the Leafs, meanwhile, they were off. They'll play again on Saturday evening against the visiting Ottawa Senators down at Scotiabank Arena. That game will be on CBC and Sportsnet 1. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News time, 1:47.
Maybe you don't know where to start. Maybe tomorrow's goals feel so far away. What if we told you that maybe you're closer than you think? That a simple conversation can spark something amazing. Your savings and investments can stand for so much more when they don't stand still. And Scotiabank can help every step of the way. Energize your investing. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
There's a reason you look people in the eyes when you shake their hand. A
I
reason you
ain't
don't
shaking
like being
anybody's
late for
hand.
meetings and hate missing deadlines. It's why you put your customers first and pick your partners wisely.
I've been looking buddy in the eyes
in
all this up,
business,
blood.
reputation is everything.
Fucking eyes.
Trust your reputation to FedEx for all of your international shipping needs. Express, ground, and freight. Visit FedEx.ca/reason. FedEx, connecting people and possibilities.
Well, in lifestyle news, authorities in Florida are making seizures of unauthorized NFL merchandise ahead of Sunday's Super Bowl in Miami.
The logos, the colors, even the team names are what's known as intellectual property or IP. And like any property, it can be stolen.
Each year, billions and billions of dollars are lost to IP theft.
Steve Francis is with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which has been seizing counterfeit
NFL jerseys, NFL tickets, We continue with an operation here called Operation Team Player.
Agents took in $123 million worth of fake NFL merchandise around Miami, a record for the week leading up to any Super Bowl. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Miami.
And part of the allure for the Super Bowl Sunday, you can put a wager on just about anything. Summit Bennett introduces us to the world of prop bets.
Super Bowl Sunday for many is the peak of gambling season lunacy. For example, MGM Resorts in Vegas reported a single bet of $500 million on the Chiefs to win. They actually had to increase the spread to 1.5 thanks to that one bet. And then there are the prop bets. There are the obvious ones. Who will be MVP, most touchdowns, that kind of thing. And then the obscure ones. And it is a tail. Los Angeles has won. Random fact, the team from the NFC has won the coin toss 5 of the last 6 years. That would favor the Niners. Or you can wager on the color of the Gatorade poured in the winning coach. It sounds ridiculous, right? Last year it was blue, the year before yellow, 2 years ago orange. Maybe just pick your favorite color and hope for the best. I'm Simon Bennett.
And a zoo animal has predicted the winner of the Super Bowl. ABC's Chuck Severston reports.
The Cincinnati Zoo says Fiona the hippo picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. The zoo put 2 cone-like bobble toys in Fiona's enclosure, one with the Chiefs trademark, the other with the San Francisco 49ers logo. The hipster nudged both with her snout and then with her massive mouth opening wide, cascading out, Fiona emptied her substantial hippo's stomach all over the Chiefs toy. No indication this will be a trend among on-air sports analysts, but it could be imitated by fans not taking it easy Sunday. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the 680 News Time 150.
Hi, it's Ivanka Osmak. Normally, I'm a sports anchor for Sportsnet, but today I'm spreading the news about Sleep Country's Aquagel pillow. To be honest, I'd never even heard of a gel pillow before their sleep experts suggested I try it out, and I'm glad they did. The pillow is so comfortable. It's made with a water-based gel, so it's a super breathable alternative to memory foam that cradles your neck and keeps you cool. I've always been a little picky about my pillow, but that was totally embraced when I went to Sleep Country. Their sleep experts are sleep obsessed. It was amazing to see all the options they could recommend based on just a few things I told them about my sleeping habits. So really, no matter how you sleep, I'm sure they'll be able to recommend a great pillow to you. Plus, right now, when you buy one Aquagel pillow, you get a second Aquagel pillow free. Get matched to your perfect pillow at Sleep Country. Order online at sleepcountry.ca today. Sleep Country. For sleep.
680 News Time 151. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. How are the roads looking out there, Michael?
Well, if you're out on the major routes right now, it's a pretty good drive. Everything is up to speed. We were seeing some delays eastbound 401 collectors east of Victoria Park, but with the light traffic now, everything's back up to speed. They've got construction blocking the 2 right lanes there, so it's just a single left lane getting through. But again, everything moving fine now, back up to speed. As part of that construction, northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed, as is the eastbound 401 ramp to Borden. Further along the eastbound 401 approaching Broad Street, left lane is blocked with construction there, but again, light traffic means no delays. Looking at the other side of the highway, westbound 401 at Thixon, left lane is blocked with construction, but again, light traffic, so everything's up to speed. Rest of the drive on the westbound 401 is in great shape. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, it's moving fine in either direction. 404 DVP, same thing, northbound, southbound, no delays. Gardner's up to speed in both directions, so is the QEW. Just got a little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie, crews working in the right lane. 403, 410, 427, all up to speed. Just a couple of things to watch out for on the northbound 427. Approaching Rathburn in the Express, the right lane is gone for road work. And then north of that, approaching the 401, 2 left lanes blocked because of a collision. We've got some emergency vehicles on scene. Your next traffic report is at 2:01. Now with the forecast, here's Adam Stiles.
Couple of peaks of sunshine early to start off the weekend today, and then as we head into the afternoon, the cloud builds in. Snow showers possible by the evening, a high of 2 in the forecast. South wind expected up to 25 kilometers per hour. Tonight's snow showers just leave us with a dusting, but the next round that arrives on Sunday morning could actually leave a centimeter or 2 of accumulation in the east end of the GTA and across the north. Meanwhile, just a dusting here downtown, and there'll be parts of the west end that likely won't see anything at all. By the afternoon, we warm up to a high of 3 degrees. It's mainly cloudy to wrap up the weekend. South wind up to 35 kilometers per hour. Sunday being Groundhog Day, looks like it'll be cloudy, no shadow if you believe in any of that hocus pocus. On Monday, it's partly cloudy, warm start at 2 degrees, heading up to a high of 6 by the afternoon. Today, we're heading up to a high temperature of 2 degrees.
Downtown Toronto, it's -1, feeling like -4 under a partly cloudy sky, and over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, -3, feeling like -5. Coming up at 2 o'clock, the latest on a multiple shooting in the city, leaving 3 people dead and 2 others in hospital. 680 News Time, 1:54.
Doing my grocery shopping online has never been so easy. With Good Food meal kits, I get all the farm fresh ingredients I need to cook delicious recipes like seared salmon with almond pesto. From breakfast to dinner and everything in between, Good Food delivers for free and to my doorstep. With Good Food, I also save about 15% on grocery essentials like olive oil, healthy snacks, and more. Drop the shop. Go to makegoodfood.ca now and get 40% off your first order. That's makegoodfood.ca.
Live,
Local,
and always breaking.
This is 680 News.
Well, it looks like an award-winning streaming show could soon be ending.
The critically acclaimed Netflix drama The Crown will end after season 5, which will take the series into the 2000s, and we'll get another new queen, played by Imelda Staunton, who Harry Potter fans might know as Dolores Umbridge. She also played Lady Bagshaw in the Downton Abbey movie. Season 4 of The Crown is in production now.
Your business report is coming up next. 680 News Time, 1:55.
Samantha Bee is coming to Toronto. On Thursday, March 5th, join the Canadian Women's Foundation to have lunch at LOL with Emmy-nominated comedian and television host Samantha Bee. Samantha Bee says the things no one else does because satire is her superpower. Get inspired by one of the most talented and outspoken people on television. Funds raised go to the Canadian Women's Foundation to support programs across the country that empower women and girls to move out of violence, out of poverty, and into confidence and leadership. Get your tickets now at CanadianWomen.org.
It was a rainy day when Pizzaville decided to stone bake our pizzas the traditional way. That was over 50 years ago. Since then, the big pizza conglomerate started cooking their pizzas on conveyor belts, like you see at the airport. Now you can choose authentic Italian stone-baked pizza or pizza you could mistake for luggage.
I think that was a joke about microwave.
Pizza. Fiercely Canadian. Authentically Italian.
680 News Time, 1:56. Now the 680 News Business Report.
I'm Chris McCusker. Finding the right employee can be crucial to any business's success, no matter the industry. And Stephen Cardwell, the general manager at Stephen Cardwell Recruitment, says many businesses make mistakes when seeking a new hire.
There's a lot of companies out there that are hiring their own talent acquisition teams to recruit for numerous positions, which is great, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we're talking about positions that are more seasoned and may take a bit of time to find that ideal candidate that is not necessarily looking at a job posting.
And you also say that companies often accept what they've been given.
And that's a question I'd like to have one of my senior recruiters, his name is John Talfanchian, he's with me right now in the office, to elaborate on.
You know, oftentimes companies are looking at people that are coming in through various social platforms, and you know, as a search firm, or as you know, what we call the process of headhunting, we are looking towards candidates that are invisible to the market. These are candidates very highly qualified. They're, for the most part, happy where they are.
And John, you also say there's an over-reliance on social media.
It is changing the face of society, but we are seeing that we're losing that human-to-human connection. Nobody wants to pick up the phone. Nobody wants to speak to another person. Everybody's reliant on what's visible, but the invisible is what we're very, very good at isolating, and our clients very much appreciate the way we go after and seek, top talent that most recruiters or job boards can't identify.
That's John Talfanchian and Stephen Cardwell with Stephen Cardwell Recruitment. And at the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
They're hiring people
Biggest
to
tennis
hire
stars battle
people.
it out this summer
I
at
think
the Aviva
you're
Center
making
in
the job
Toronto.
too complicated for yourself.
Reigning champion Rafa Nadal, homegrown Canadian talent Denis Shapovalov,
Why don't you just hire the fucking people you need?
and four-time winner Novak Djokovic. With so much to love, don't miss the Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank. Single session tickets on sale now. Book now at RogersCup.com.
This is your breaking news station, 680 News.
So you went out drinking and you did the right thing. You left the car at home. Thank you. But did you know that if you drank a lot and stayed up late, you could still have alcohol in your system the next day and could register a warn, even a fail on a roadside screening device? It can take up to 12 hours or more from the time of your last drink for your BAC to reach zero. And only time, not sleep, coffee, or a shower sobers you up any faster. A message from Arrival App Drive Sober and ChangeTheConversation.ca.
Now taking a look at your regional weather conditions. In Oakville, -3, partly cloudy sky. In Cambridge, -7, partly cloudy there as well. In Pickering, a few clouds in the sky, -3. In Newmarket, similar conditions there, -2. And in Oshawa, -4, a few clouds in the sky. Downtown Toronto right now,
right
it's
out and look
-1,
in the
feeling
middle of
like
the fucking night,
-4
eh?
under a partly cloudy sky. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, -3, feeling like a chilly -5. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day and always be in the know. 680 News time, 2 o'clock.
#1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good morning. This is Saturday, February the 1st. I'm Tim Chapman.
And I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here's what's making news this hour.
A party at a downtown Airbnb turns fatal after gunshots claim the lives of 3 young men.
No deal between the province and elementary teachers means escalating strike action. We'll have those details in just a moment.
More than 11,000 coronavirus cases confirmed worldwide, with at least 259 deaths. This as Ontario confirms its 3rd case. More than 11,000 coronavirus cases confirmed worldwide, with at least 258 deaths. And as Ontario's 3rd case is confirmed, the U.S. has declared a public health emergency.
Nick Nurse and staff will coach Team Giannis at the 2020 NBA All-Star Game in Chicago, and Alexander Ovechkin continues to move up the all-time lists. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, coronavirus fears may have you paying a lower mortgage bill. We're looking at how fixed-rate mortgages are heading lower here in Canada.
680 News time, 2:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
This report brought to you by
All
Seneca.
these
You're on the
shootings at
major highways right
Airbnbs,
now.
you're gonna have the Airbnbs real cheap too, but I don't think that's the right way to look at it.
Eastbound 401 in the collectors east of Victoria Park, crew set up in the 2 right lanes. It's just a single left lane that's open, but we've got light traffic now, so things are back up to speed through there. We're seeing some heavy delays through that stretch earlier. As part of that construction, northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed, as is the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden. Continuing along eastbound 401, approaching Brock Street in Durham region, left lane gone for some construction there. Looking at the other side of the highway westbound, it's up to speed all the way across the city. Just one spot with construction at Thixon, left lane gone for road work. For Highway 400 northbound and southbound, no delays. 404 DVP moving well northbound and southbound. Gardner's up to speed in both directions. So is the QEW. Just got a little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Crews are working in the right lane. 403, 410, both up to speed in either direction. 427 northbound at Rathburn in the Express. Right lane is gone for road work, and then just a little bit north of that, approaching the 401 in the Express as well. 2 left lanes gone. Crews are on scene because of a collision that happened there. Neither of those spots causing any delays, just something to look out for as you travel northbound on the 427, other side of the highway southbound. It's all up to speed. Seneca students can take anything on, an uncertain future, a changing economy, and careers that don't even exist yet. Join the Seneca Proud Challenge accepted. Next traffic report is at 2:11 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
Slightly warmer temperatures and a few snow showers this weekend. Accumulation looks to be fairly minimal, although the east end of the GTA can pick up 1 to 2 centimeters. Daytime highs today expected near 2 degrees. It'll be a mainly cloudy sky. Snow showers arriving by the evening and winds out of the south up to about 25 kilometers per hour. Today's high temperature, 2 with the forecast.
Downtown Toronto, it's -1, feeling like -4 under a partly cloudy sky. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there. -3, feeling like -5. 680 News time, 2:03.
Breaking news from Toronto police, who say 3 young men have succumbed to their injuries following a shooting in the Fort York area. The 4th has non-life-threatening injuries, and the 5th was cut but not shot.
Police spokesman Craig Brister tells 6 City News they were called after reports of multiple gunshots.
Just after 10:30 today, approximately 20 to 11, police received a call in the area of Queens Wharf Boulevard and Fort York Boulevard in regards to multiple shots that were heard.
While the shooting occurred at a party at an Airbnb, there is still no suspect's description at this time. Stay with 6 City News for more on this developing story.
680 News Time at 2:04. Talks at the Sheridan Center between public elementary school teachers and the province have broken off, meaning their strikes will escalate next week. The two sides spent 3 days at the bargaining table, and no new dates are scheduled. Cynthia Mulligan of City News has more on what parents are in for next week.
Here's the latest on what to expect next week.
1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore.
Peel was one of the boards that had all public elementary teachers walking picket lines. And this is a list of what's to come next week. On Tuesday, English Catholic teachers, elementary and secondary, will hold province-wide strikes. Also on Tuesday, OSSTF public high school teachers will resume rotating strikes. And ECFO will hold a province-wide strike on Thursday, and every board will be hit on another day with a rotating strike. Cynthia Mulligan, City News.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. Ontario officials continue to say the risk of infection is low, even with a third confirmed case of the novel coronavirus here in the province announced early Friday. And the death toll is still rising in China.
But it's not.
6 Cities
Don't
Meg
worry
Black
about
has
it.
more details on how this is affecting us here in Canada.
Chief Medical Officer of Health David Williams confirms this is the youngest case in Canada.
It's a female in her 20s who arrived asymptomatic.
The Western University student
That's
arrived
wonderful.
from Wuhan on January 23rd and
How many
returned to her
other
home in
people
London,
arrived
Ontario. She wore a
asymptomatic?
face mask and was not showing any signs of illness during her travels. Dr. Chris Mackey, medical officer for the Middlesex London Health Unit, said that when she started showing symptoms, she immediately put herself into home isolation.
The only time she's been out of her home since then is to hospital for testing.
She has fully recovered and has not been on campus
did
since
she get
returning
there?
from China. Now, despite the announcement of this new case,
she on the
Canadian
freaking
medical
bus?
officials
And then she
insist
took
that
the
the
bus,
risk of
didn't she?
infection remains low. I'm Meg Black.
Meanwhile, as Chinese health officials in the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak report, the number of confirmed cases has now grown to more than 11,300 worldwide, with at least 250 fatalities. And as 6 Cities' Michelle Mackey reports, the United States isn't taking any chances.
President Trump's administration is following the lead of the World Health Organization.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Alex Azar says among the regulations, any U.S. citizen who has returned from China's Hubei province within the last 14 days is subject to a mandatory 2-week quarantine. Furthermore, the U.S. is putting restrictions on foreign nationals who might pose a risk.
As a result, foreign nationals, other than immediate family of U.S. citizens and permanent residents who have traveled in China within the last 14 days will be denied entry into the United States.
The declaration going into effect 5 p.m. Sunday. I'm Michelle Mackey.
Meantime, the coronavirus, many are concerned about it. One Toronto doctor says we should be focusing our attention on other illnesses. Dina Kulik is a pediatric emergency medicine doctor at Sig Kids, and she tells 6 City News we should be more concerned about the flu.
Which is much, much more common right now. There are hundreds of thousands of cases in Canada right now, and the death rate from influenza each year is, a couple thousand.
According to Kulik, the current treatment of the coronavirus is small.
6 City News Time at 2:07. Enough investors are concerned about what the coronavirus could do to China's and the world's economies that many sold stocks and parked the money elsewhere on Friday. ABC's Chuck Siverston reports.
The Dow lost more than 600 points, but as high as the index has reached, it's notable, but not a disaster. Steep losses for the NASDAQ and S&P.
There was a little bit more of and I won't even use the word panic, but a major concern about the virus.
TD Ameritrade Chief Market Strategist J.J. Kinahan on investors looking at economic impact of coronavirus.
Flights being shut down, cruises being suspended,
Plus,
hotels are going to be affected.
Transportation stocks and hospitality, like hotels, taking a hit. Chuck Sivertson, ABC News, New York.
6 City News Time,
Airbnbs.
2:08. Debate number 5 goes today for candidates vying to be in the top spot for the Ontario Liberals. Today's Ontario Liberal leadership debate is being held this afternoon in Markham at the Cornell Community Centre on Burr Oak Avenue from 1 to 3. Candidates running in the leadership race include Stephen DeLuca, Michael Cotto, and Mitzi Hunter. The Ontario Liberal Party suffered the worst defeat in its history in 2018, losing official party status and prompting former Premier and leader Kathleen Wynne to resign. And the debate goes Monday in Toronto at Isabel Broader Theatre starting at 7 p.m. The party will select a leader early March.
So to come on 680 News, we'll check on the price of the pumps. After that, traffic and weather together. 680 News Time, 2:09.
This is 680 News.
This is the first sound you hear when we get hit by a snowstorm. And this is the second sound you hear. Snowplows on the DVP and the Gardner. When it snows, the city has over 5,600 kilometers of roads to salt and plow. And in order to get more people where they need to go safely, we clear expressways, major roads, and transit routes first, before moving on to residential streets. It's how we keep you moving, Toronto. Get to know the plan for snow at toronto.ca/snow.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Denver predicted the price dropped 1 cent at midnight to $1.09, 0.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News Time, 2:10.
Hello, Loblaws shoppers, specifically Paul, who's planning a party for the big game. I'm your snack coach, Paul. Here to make sure your party food is on point.
Okay.
Rush to the hot counter. Tackle a bucket of 36 chicken wings and potato wedges, a 2-liter Pepsi beverage, and select varieties of Ruffles, Doritos, or Tostitos snacks, and earn 3,500 PC Optimum points.
Touchdown. Oh, wait, spicy or mild?
Just get the wings, Paul. Conditions apply. Offer valid until February 5th, 2020, only at participating Loblaws locations. Food lovers unite. When you have 20/20 vision, you don't need glasses, just sunglasses. Because during Sunwing's Deals of the Decade, you can save up to $2,020 per couple on all-inclusive sun vacations. Vacation better at top-rated resorts with award-winning service every step of the way. But hurry, winter may be around for a while, but these deals will not. Book by February 7th with your travel agent or Sunwing.ca.
680 News Time, 2:11. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger. We had crews dealing with one collision northbound 427 in the express approaching the 401. 2 left lanes were blocked. That has just cleared, so all lanes reopened. If we backtrack on the northbound 427, still got a little bit of construction at Rathburn in the express cruiser in the right lane, but with the light traffic, no delays through that stretch. Other side of the highway, the southbound 427, no issues at all. 401 in great shape right now in both directions all the way across the city. We are looking at some construction along the way, though. Eastbound 401 east of Victoria Park and the collectors, the 2 right lanes are blocked. That was slowing things down earlier, but with the light traffic now, everything is back up to speed. As part of that construction, the northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed, as is the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden. Continuing along on the eastbound 401, approaching Brock Street, left lane gone for road work, no delays there. Other side of the highway, it's moving well all the way across the city. Just one spot of construction at Fixin, left lane is gone. 404 DVP, northbound, southbound, no issues at all. Gardner's moving well in both directions. So is the QEW. Just looking at a little bit of construction, eastbound QEW, approaching Dixie, crews are working in the right lane. 403 and 410, both up to speed in either direction. Looking off of the major highways onto city streets. Bakersfield Street is closed from Shepherd to Ashwarren. That's just off Shepherd near Downsway Park subway station, and the closure is because of a vehicle fire that happened there last night. Your next report is at 2:21. Now with the forecast, here's Adam Stiles.
Starting out February on a above seasonal note, 2 in the forecast, mainly cloudy. We'll see some peaks of sunshine early on, and then that cloud builds in. Snow showers throughout the overnight could leave a dusting of snow. As we make our way into Sunday, we have another round of snow showers expected that could leave 1 to 2 centimeters in the east end of the GTA with a dusting possible for the west. We'll see that snow shower activity wrapping up by about midday with a high temperature of 3 degrees to wrap up the weekend. Today, mainly cloudy, snow showers possible by the evening at a high of 2.
Right now, downtown Toronto, -1 and partly cloudy. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions and a -3. This is 680 News, All News Radio. Actor and director Elizabeth Banks has been honored as Woman of the Year by Harvard University's famed Hasty Pudding Theater troupe. The Hunger Games star was paraded through Harvard Square and then awarded a golden pudding pot following a celebrity roast. Hasty Pudding says it picked Banks because she's a role model for women in Hollywood.
The 45-year-old Massachusetts native produced, wrote, directed, and appeared in last year's Charlie's Angels reboot. Still to come on 6 City News, a list of your top stories and sports. 6 City News Time at 2:13.
Every small to medium-sized business has one. The IT guy that isn't really an IT guy that everyone depends on to fix their IT problems.
At first, it was no big deal. Just people looking to change a password or print something. Next thing I know, we're talking DDoS attacks, cloud migration, and something called autocation.
Oh boy.
Do you have any idea how much money this company loses every time the server goes down?
As a matter of fact,
Who do these people think I am? Some kind of tech head ninja code writing cloud hosting guru?
actually, that sounds exactly like us.
I'm the president.
Never just crashed again.
I don't have time for this.
That's okay, because we do. We're Apps on Net.
Apps on what?
Apps on Net, and we're it when it comes to managed IT services for small to medium-sized business.
Go on.
Endpoint support, network security, proactive maintenance.
Cloud hosting?
100%.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
Sold.
Get the relief you need with IT support from Apps on Net. Visit us online at allgainnopain.ca or call 1-855-255-4667. That's 1-855-ALL-G-NO-P.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. It's -1 and partly cloudy. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Tim Chapman for the top stories this hour. Police Chief Mark Saunders updating the city this morning following a fatal shooting at a party at an Airbnb near Fort York. 3 young men succumbing to their injuries in hospital. Another man with serious injuries and a 5th was cut but not shot. There's still no word on a suspect. Talks at the Sheridan Center between public elementary school teachers and the province have broken off, and that means their strikes will escalate next week. Unions are asking for wage increases as well as an increase in supports for students with special needs. A young woman attending Western University is the latest coronavirus patient. She returned from China last Thursday but was vigilant about staying home. There's no reported risk to the public. 6 City News Time, 2:15. Now,
How many food delivery guys have been exposed to this shit?
Thanks, guys. Well, the Raptors beat the Pistons with a pretty convincing 105-92 win down in
You're not going
Detroit.
to tell us nothing about this food.
105-92, the final, as Nick Nurse and his coaching staff will head to Chicago and coach in the NBA All-Star Game.
Pascal Siakam led all scorers with 30 points, while Serge Ibaka added 21 points himself. The All-Star Game is in Chicago over Family Day weekend, in case you're wondering. Some finals from the NHL. The Penguins beat the Flyers 4-3 in overtime. Bruins beat the Jets 2-1. Golden Knights beat the Hurricanes 4-3. And a milestone in the Capitals' 5-3 win over the Ottawa Senators. Alexander Ovechkin scored 2 goals, and with them, he passed Mark Messier to take sole possession of 8th place on the NHL's all-time goals list. And the Leafs, meanwhile, were off. They'll play again on Saturday evening against the visiting Senators down at Scotiabank Arena. That game will be on CBC and Sportsnet 1. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 2:16.
It's nice to have a guarantee that your money will grow because your kids are guaranteed to grow.
Mom, my shoes are too small.
Thankfully, HSBC Bank offers a GIC with a 2.18% interest, so you'll be ready for anything.
Mom, my shoes are too small.
Again. Take a step towards financial wellness today. Get 2.18% per annum on a 218-day non-redeemable GIC for new deposits. For full details, visit hsbc.ca/grow. HSBC Bank. Together we thrive.
Did you know the most active muscles in your body are your eye muscles? Make eye care your New Year's resolution with Pearl Vision. They're offering 40% off lenses with frame purchase and carry brands your family loves like Ray-Ban and Coach. Plus, Pearl Vision direct bills most insurance plans and welcomes your current prescription. Arrange your family's eye exams at pearlvision.ca. Valid prescription required. Valid at participating Canadian location. Taxes extra. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends March 31st, 2020. Eye exams available by the Independent Doctors of Optometry located at or next to Pearl Vision.
680 News Time at 2:18. It began last fall with a video posted online depicting 2 boys throwing punches at each other. Then reports of an underground fight club among students in the Trillium Lakelands district. Erica Natividad from City News joins us with that story.
There were older boys forcing them to fight. He found out this video was just one of many allegedly orchestrated by the same breeding boys.
I've seen a few other fights, and they were going on Instagram to like a fight club.
The video is currently being investigated by local police. The Trillium Lakelands District School Board says it's aware of the videos, and while they say none of them took place on school property, planning for this type of activity is not tolerated. Does the school need to do more to make sure that these students feel safe in coming forward to report incidents of bullying?
I know that this school and all of our schools do the very best that they can. And in a lot of cases, it's a matter of students and parents reporting.
Ontario recently introduced new measures to address bullying in schools. The province wants to include cyberbullying in the definition and allow students to share their experiences with bullying, among other initiatives. For City News, I'm Erica Natividad.
6 City News Time, 2:19. The Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops is expressing concern about proposed changes to medical assistance in dying legislation. In a letter to the Prime Minister, Archbishop Richard Gagnon says that the attempt to expand assisted death to include advanced directives is deeply troubling. The federal government is working to comply with the Superior Court of Quebec ruling that is unconstitutional to allow only Canadians already near death to seek medical help to end their lives. Gagnon says in his organization is disappointed the federal government has refused to appeal the ruling. This is 6 City News. A woman fleeing the police smashed her SUV through 2 security checkpoints near U.S. President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. She was later arrested at a nearby motel. Long Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw says it wasn't an intentional attack on Trump.
This is not a terrorist thing. This is somebody that obviously was impaired somehow and is driving very recklessly and endangering not only the public, but the law enforcement officers over there. That's what this is.
Trump was not at the resort at the time, although he was scheduled to arrive there later in the day. Coming up, traffic and weather together. 6 City News Time, 2:20.
Hi, I'm Brian Scudamore from 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Is it too early to do spring cleaning?
We bring the springtime with us, ma'am. Just walk around and point at junk you wish would disappear.
Point? Wow. You really do bring the springtime.
We leave behind happy places and happy faces. We work until midnight, 7 days a week. And we can be there in 90 minutes. All you have to do is point call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Welcome to the afterlife, old red sedan. It's a good thing your owner needed to get rid of you fast.
Well, is this where I become a kidney car?
It is. You'll start supporting life-changing medical research and back in community education immediately.
Wow, and I thought I'd sit in that driveway forever. Need to get rid of an old car? Don't scrap it. Your car has a higher calling. Get a fast, free, and friendly tow for a minimum $300 tax receipt. Donate at kidneycar.ca.
6 City News Time, 2:21. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
Well, if you're out on the major highways right now, it's a pretty good drive, not seeing any delays. We do have some overnight construction along the way, though. If you're traveling eastbound on the 401, east of Victoria Park and the Collectors, crews working in the 2 right lanes. As part of that construction, the northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed, and so is the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden. Continuing along eastbound 401, approaching Brock Street, crews are working in the left lane. Again, light traffic, so no delays. Other side of the highway, westbound 401 is up to speed all the way across the city. We've just got a little bit of construction at Dixon. Crews are working in the left lane. 404 DVP, northbound, southbound, no problems there. It's all up to speed. Gardner's looking good in both directions. So is the QEW. Just looking at a little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Crews working in the right lane. More construction northbound 427 at Rathburn and the Express. Crews working in the right lane there as well. But again, light traffic, so there's no delays. 427 is moving well in both directions. So is the 403 and the 410. Southbound 400, Highway 89, north of the city. We do have a collision there. Right lane is blocked. Crews are on scene. Again, light traffic, so no delays. Just watch out as you're traveling through that stretch. Looking off of the major highways onto city streets. Bakersfield Street, which is just off of Shepherd near Downsview Park subway station. It is closed in both directions between Shepherd and Ashbourne, and that is because of a vehicle fire that happened there last night. Your next traffic report is at 2:31 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
Looking at mainly cloudy sky as we head through the afternoon. 2 degrees in the forecast. No showers expected this evening. Winds are going to be out of the south up to about 25 kilometers per hour. Overnight, no showers on and off. Just a coating of snow expected. And then another round on Sunday morning. This one's going to be producing a little bit more snow, so areas in the east end could see 1 to 2 centimeters. Downtown, just a dusting expected. It'll be cloudy for Sunday. The reason that's somewhat significant, if you believe in the folklore of the groundhog, it is Groundhog Day. 3 degrees in the forecast there for Sunday, and then on Monday we'll see a few more peaks of sunshine and a daytime high of 6 degrees. Today, it's a high temperature of 2 in the forecast.
Right now, downtown Toronto, -1, partly cloudy. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, and -3. Remember, 680 News is the only radio station with a weather guarantee. Today's jackpot stands at $14,100. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the latest on a triple homicide at a party at an Airbnb in Fort York, escalating tensions between elementary teachers and the province, and how the province is handling increasing coronavirus concerns. 680 News Time, 2:24.
Hey, the bank called today about our RSP contributions.
I thought we decided to move them over to Questrade.
Well, we've got a lot on our plate right now.
We can't wait another year. The lower fees could mean over 100,000 more for us.
We went from 1 case to 3.
For our future.
For that, we can find a few minutes.
Save your retirement. See how you can retire wealthier with the Quest Wealth Portfolio's RRSP at questrade.com.
Road closures, festivals, events.
When you need to know what's happening this weekend,
We've got you covered.
this is 680 News.
680 News Time, 2:24. Fans of the Fast and Furious franchise are getting a preview of the next film in the series.
It's our first extended look at the upcoming Fast and Furious 9.
Please tell me that's not a Pontiac Fiero strapped to a rocket engine?
Impressive. I know.
No, that's not impressive.
Full of all the craziness you've come to expect. Damn, they got a magnet plane, and everything in the franchise goes big. Even the trailer, 4 minutes. It's almost double the length of a regular trailer. We also learned John Cena is joining the franchise as Vin Diesel's brother. F9 in theaters May 22nd. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
680 News Time at 2:25. Your weekend business report 60 seconds away.
Thanks for calling Reliance Home Comfort. It's Jeff. How can I help you?
Hi, can a new furnace really help me save on energy costs?
Well, older furnaces use up to 60% of a home's energy. Upgrading to a high-efficiency furnace could help. If you have an older furnace, it's a great time to replace it. Right now, you can get 25% off our featured furnaces and receive a free Google Nest Learning Thermostat and Nest Hub. But hurry, this offer won't last long. You need a great deal fast. Conditions apply. See
Giving
website for
away
details.
these speakers to listen to everything you say. I don't think I want that for free in my house.
Next Steps Employment Centers at
That's not free. There's something
next-steps.ca.
wrong there.
It's where qualified candidates go to look for their next job. We offer free recruitment services, and you may qualify for financial incentives. And have you heard? Through the Canada-Ontario Job Grant, you could be eligible to receive up to $10,000 per employee in government support to cover training costs. Learn more at next-steps.ca. That's next-steps.ca. Next Steps Employment Centers are funded by Employment Ontario.
680 News Time, 2:26. Now the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Richard Southern. There's probably no silver lining at all to the coronavirus outbreak, but here is an interesting offshoot. Would you believe coronavirus fears could actually lower your mortgage bill? Yeah, the outbreak has caused investors to seek the safety of government bonds. And that money going into bonds has lowered bond yields, and that means that fixed-rate mortgages are heading lower because they are tied to the 5-year Government of Canada bond yield, which is way down since the coronavirus outbreak. Robert McWhister is the founder of RatesFi.com.
Yes, the bond yields have crashed in the last 10 days. Worries about the new coronavirus and it's pushing down fixed mortgage rates. Just yesterday, we saw Trendsetter RBC cut its discount rates by 15 basis points. There's probably more banks to come.
So what's the average 5-year fixed looking like right now?
We know the best widely available uninsured 5-year fixed rate is 2.84%. And so with these, with this latest move down in yields, we can probably see that
is $1 million
down to 2.69% or lower.
Historically speaking, we're not towards the records at all, are we?
No, we're ways away from the all-time low. way back, I would say a few years ago, we saw 5-year fixed rates actually breach 2% to the downside on uninsured mortgages.
What's your, I mean, obviously it depends on what happens with the virus in the markets, and we don't know, but, your expert opinion, do you think this trend will continue in the fixed income market?
Well, it looks like the virus is going to get worse before it gets better, and so we could easily see 5-year bond yields test the lows from last summer, and if that happens, there's a good chance we'll see 5-year fixed rates below 2.5% again.
Now, variable rate mortgages, they're not going to change because of the coronavirus worry, because they're tied to the Bank of Canada's overnight rate, which hasn't changed in a while. At the Business Center, I'm Richard Southern.
Trend alert for the new year? Sleep. It's
That's
so
all
hot right now.
Albert's
And the
news.
best part, it looks good on everyone. Can't say that about bangs.
Sleep better this year with Sleep Country's year-end model sale. Get amazing prices on select brand new beds in 2019 styles, colors, and fabrics, and our sleep experts will match you to your best sleep. Plus, get a Hot by Sealy Eurotop Queen mattress with extra back support, just $489. Hurry in store or online. It ends soon. Sleep Country, home for sleep.
Everyone is talking about the hit musical sensation, Come From Away. It's a true story. Thousands of people stranded in a small town in Newfoundland on 9/11, and the locals, they opened up their homes. What happened that week? The kindness, the resilience, the joy reminds us all what it is to be human. Come From Away, now in its second smash year in Toronto. Get tickets at mervish.com.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by IA Clarington Investments, where we believe in the value of active management to navigate today's complex
Just tell
markets.
us
Visit
how many people
iaclarington.com.
in each country have this.
Right now in Winnipeg, overcast and 1 degree. Montreal, mostly cloudy and -8. Right here at home, -1 and partly cloudy. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. 680 News time at 2:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good morning. This is Saturday, February the 1st. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Tim Chapman. Here's what's making news this hour.
A deadly shooting in the downtown core has 3 people dead and police looking for suspects.
Strikes will continue as talks between public and elementary school teachers and the province have broken off.
As the number of coronavirus cases surpasses 11,000 globally, Ontario health officials confirmed the province's 3rd case. This as the U.S. declares a public health emergency.
More than 11,000 coronavirus cases confirmed worldwide, with at least 250 deaths. And as Ontario's 3rd case is confirmed, the U.S. has declared a public health emergency.
The Raptors whoop the Pistons and send Nick Nurse to the All-Star game, while Alex Ovechkin's 2 goals moves him past Mark Messier on the all-time goal list. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, a new research center at the University of BC has a vague mandate, and that's by design. It'll use cloud computing and AI to work on community health issues. 680 News time, 2:31.
Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Michael Ranger.
Well, if you're out on the major routes right now, it's a pretty good drive. Everything is up to speed, not seeing any delays. We do have crews dealing with a crash north of the city, southbound 400 at Highway 89. We've got the 2 right lanes blocked for that collision, just a single left lane open, but with the light traffic, it's not causing any delays. As we move back into the city, the 401 is up to speed all the way across town in both directions. There is a little bit of construction along the way. Eastbound 401, east of Victoria Park, and the collectors, 2 right lanes are blocked. And as part of that construction, northbound Victoria Park ramp to the highway is closed. Eastbound 401 ramp to Warden is closed as well. Continuing along the eastbound 401, approaching Bronx Street, left lane gone for road work. Other side of the highway, westbound 401, it's up to speed all the way across the city. Just 1 spot of construction at Dixon. The left lane is blocked for construction there. Looking at the 404, it is up to speed in both directions. We've got an issue westbound Steeles ramp onto the northbound 404, though that ramp is currently blocked for a police investigation. So again, no access to the northbound 404 if you're traveling westbound on Steeles. Driving in or out of downtown, DVP up to speed in both directions. So is the Gardner, eastbound and westbound. QEW moving well in both directions. Just a little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Crews are in the right lane. 403, 410, 427, all up to speed. A little bit more construction northbound 427 at Rathburn in the Express. Crews are working in the right lane there. Your next traffic report is at 2:41. Now with the forecast, here's Adam Stiles.
got a mainly cloudy sky for most of the day today. If you do want some sunshine, early on is going to be your best bet. By the evening hours, snow showers rolling through. Winds out of the south up to 25 kilometers per hour. Fairly gray for the afternoon hours with a high temperature near 2 degrees.
Right now downtown, -1 and partly cloudy. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions and -3. 680 News Time, 2:33.
Breaking news from the downtown core, where an otherwise quiet night in Fort York was disrupted by a shooting that has killed 3 people and sent 2 others to hospital. According to Toronto Police, the shooting happened at a social gathering at an Airbnb. 2 other victims are in hospital, one with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds and the other with minor injuries.
Constable Craig Rister tells 680 News paramedics are investigating in the area of Bathurst and Front Street.
So officers are currently at the scene right now investigating. Up to now, we have located 4 victims. Ambulances is on scene right now, attending to those victims.
We're not yet sure what led to the shooting or who is responsible at this time.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. A renewed round of contract talks between Ontario elementary teachers and the government broke down with no deal, meaning their strikes will escalate next week. Union President Sam Hammond says every effort was made, but it became clear the Ford government was not willing to address key issues. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says the government affirmed its commitment to maintaining full-day kindergarten, but pay and benefits remain a top priority for union leaders. Cynthia Mulligan of City News has more on the ongoing war of words between the 2 sides.
Both sides are fighting for public approval, which can strengthen their positions. And for the most part, they don't agree with each other's messaging. HIPPO has been putting out ads like this on Facebook.
The forced cuts mean too many students aren't getting the help they need.
Now, the government maintains it's putting more money than ever into education and denies there are cuts. The education minister has been putting out his own messaging with multiple interviews and statements. In an interview on Wednesday, the education minister told City News the Union for Public Elementary Teachers was making a new demand around hiring based on seniority. And that's new? So they've added a new demand?
That's a new element.
But the union has listed that as a demand in at least 2 news releases, one in June and another in November. Cynthia Mulligan, City News.
680 News Time at 2:35. There's now a 3rd Ontario case of the novel coronavirus. This as the death toll rises to at least 250 in China, with nearly 12,000 people infected. 680's Meg Black has the details on how health professionals are dealing with the concerns.
A London woman in her 20s who returned from Wuhan last Thursday is now Ontario's 3rd case. That brings the country's count up to 4. Western University spokesperson Jennifer Massey confirms the woman is a student, but there is low risk of transmission.
So the student has been in isolation and has not visited the campus since coming into contact with the virus.
She only left home for testing, and the initial results came back negative. Now, Chief Medical Officer of Health David Williams says results were updated upon further testing at the National Microbiology Lab. Patty Hajdu, the Federal Minister of Health, says she's working closely with Ontario. And despite this new case, she's reassuring Canadians that the risk of contracting the virus remains low. I'm Meg Black.
Meanwhile, coronavirus concerns continue to grow outside of China. The United States recently evacuated 200 Americans from China and declared a public health emergency. 680's Michelle Mackey reports.
Among the temporary measures to better detect and contain the coronavirus, President Trump has suspended the entry of foreign nationals who pose a risk of transmitting 2019 coronavirus. U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Alex Azar making the announcement from the White House.
Foreign nationals, other than immediate family of U.S. citizens and permanent residents who have traveled in China within the last 14 days, will be denied entry into the United States.
Furthermore, any U.S. citizen who has returned from China's Hubei province within the last 14 days is subject to a mandatory 2-week quarantine. These regulations go into effect 5 p.m. Sunday. However, Secretary Azar says the risk of infection remains low, and instituting the emergency declaration is a means of keeping it that way. I'm Michelle Mackey.
I don't know how that's
Meanwhile, a Toronto doctor says at the current moment, the flu poses a bigger risk to the Canadian population than the coronavirus. According to Sick Kids ER doctor Dina Kulik, so far the contagion and death rate seems relatively low, especially in Canada, where we only have a few cases. She stresses the flu is much more common right now, with hundreds of thousands of cases across the country. Plus, she says we know how to prevent it.
There is an influenza vaccine, and yet people aren't getting it. And that is scary and shocking and a bit disturbing to me.
She says about 2,000 people in Canada die from the flu every year.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. A chemical fire was extinguished after hazmat crews were called to the train tracks near Downsview Park. According to Toronto Fire, 2 tankers containing asphalt lit up the flames. No injuries have been reported, and the Barrie-Go transit line held for a few hours near Downsview Park Station. Toronto Fire Chief Matthew Pegg tells 680 News that the chemical fire is like these are quite challenging to deal with, as they tend to turn into long-duration incidents.
That shit burns all fucking
680
day.
News time, 2:38. Commuters on Line 1 are once again facing service disruptions this weekend. The TTC is shutting down subway service between Finch and Eglinton until Monday, when it's expected to resume. During the closure, workers will be installing a signal system. The TTC is also closing at North York Centre Station, but commuters will be able to buy fares and access ground routes to any other station.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the one. 680 News time, 2:39.
When you need to know, now. 680news.com.
I'm not gonna tell her shit.
Jenny Cooper, who's died.
Death is her living.
I'm just trying to put a picture together of how he died.
And she won't rest until she uncovers the truth.
You know, it is my mission as coroner to speak for the dead so that I can protect the living.
Don't miss the hit drama series, Coroner. New episode, Monday at 9 on CBC.
Put us on and find out what to wear. The best weather reports in the city every 10 minutes on 680 News.
Now the 680 News gas price update. As Enpro predicted, the price dropped 1 cent at midnight to 109.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. Coming up next, your traffic and weather report with Michael Ranger. 680 News time, 2:40.
RedTag.ca. Escape the winter cold with RedTag.ca hot vacation deals. From last-minute getaways where you can save up to 50% off to trips planned out months in advance using RedTag.ca's lowest price calendar. Plus, now get air miles, reward miles on all vacation packages, including European packages. More rewards, more savings. Plan your perfect trip today at RedTag.ca. Or call 1-866-5-REDTAG. Certain restrictions apply. RedTag.ca.
Your kitchen, it's your coffee shop, your family diner, your romantic bistro, and your wine bar. At Tasco Appliances, we understand the many roles your kitchen plays and the contribution that each appliance makes to it. Do your kitchen a favor and don't make an investment until you talk to a knowledgeable Tasco Pro. Right now, save up to 35% when you purchase select appliances from Monogram.
Come say hello, ask for Pro at Tasco.
Visit TascoAppliance.ca.
680 News time, 2:41. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Handing things over to Michael Ranger.
We've got a very quiet drive on all the major highways right now, not seeing any delays. We did have crews dealing with a crash north of the city, southbound 400 at Highway 89. 2 right lanes were blocked. That has now cleared. All 3 lanes of the highway are open there, going by Highway 89. If you're traveling north of the city, 400, 404, just be careful. We've got a couple calls about some slick conditions. Just make sure you are driving according to the conditions and exercising caution. Back in the city, 401 up to speed all the way across the city in both directions. Just got a little bit of construction along the way. Eastbound 401 and the collectors east of Victoria Park, 2 right lanes gone for road work. As part of that construction, the northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed, as is the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden. Continuing along eastbound 401 approaching Brock Street, left lane gone for road work there. Other side of the highway, almost in the exact same spot, westbound 401 approaching Brock Street, left lane gone for construction as well. Looking at Highway 400, again, northbound, southbound, it's up to speed. 404 DVP moving well in either direction. We do have a ramp closure, westbound Steeles ramp to the northbound 404. That's currently blocked for a police investigation. So again, no access to the northbound 404 if you're traveling westbound on Steeles. Gardner's moving well in either direction, so is the QEW. Just got a little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Crews are working in the right lane. 403, 410, 427, all moving well. More construction northbound 427 at Rathburn in the Express. Crews in the right lane, but again, light traffic, so that is not causing any delays. Your next traffic report is at 2:51 now with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
It's going to be mainly cloudy for most of the day today. If you do want to get a quick fix of some sunshine, be out and about early in the day today. By the afternoon, mainly cloudy to cloudy. Snow showers expected, a high of 2 degrees in the forecast. Those snow showers continue throughout the evening, likely just going to be a dusting or a coating of snow. -1 to start the day off on Sunday, and then along the warm front, there's the possibility of a few more snow showers. This could leave 1 to 2 centimeters of accumulation for the north and off toward the east end of the GTA with just a dusting here in Toronto. We'll see a high of 3 degrees to wrap up your weekend, south wind up to 35 kilometers per hour. Today, it's a high temperature of 2 that's in the forecast.
Downtown Toronto right now, -1, feeling like a -3 with a few clouds in the sky. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, -4, feeling like a chilly -9. Still to come on 680 News.
Nuts to a medical first. I'm ABC's Chuck Severson. Coming up.
680 News time, 2:43.
Hello, Loblaws shoppers, specifically Paul, who's planning a party for the big game. I'm your snack coach, Paul, here to make sure your party food is on point.
Okay.
Rush to the hot counter, tackle a bucket of 36 chicken wings and potato wedges, a 2-liter Pepsi beverage, and select varieties of Ruffles, Doritos, or Tostitos snacks, and earn 3,500 PC Optimum points.
Touchdown. Oh, wait, spicy or mild?
Just get the wings, Paul. Conditions apply. Offer valid until February 5th, 2020, only at participating Loblaws locations. Food lovers unite.
There's a reason you look people in the eyes when you shake their hand. A reason you don't like being late for meetings and hate missing deadlines. It's why you put your customers first and pick your partners wisely. Because you know, in business, reputation is everything. Trust your reputation to FedEx for all of your international shipping needs. Express, ground, and freight. Visit fedex.ca/reason. FedEx, connecting people and possibilities.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's -1 with a few clouds in the sky. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here are the top stories this hour. 3 young men are dead and 2 others are in hospital after shots rang out in the downtown core. Police have no known suspects at this time. It looks like the education strikes will escalate as contract talks between Ontario elementary teachers and the government broke with no deal. With the death toll of the coronavirus rising, Ontario officials continue to say the risk of infections in the province is low. And coming up after sports, a legendary best-selling author, Mary Higgins Clark, has died. 680 News time, 2:45. Now, City Sports from Sportsnet 5 to the Fan. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks, guys. Well, the Raptors beat the Pistons by a final score of 105-92, and even though Nick Nurse is officially an all-star, he's giving credit to everyone.
We get to be the beneficiaries, I think, of a kind of an organizational award, right? You know, you get to go coach that thing. It's certainly a tremendous honor for us, but, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. And it should be a really enjoyable experience for our guys. It's neat. Like I said before the game, it's neat to be around that event. The greatest players in the world all under one roof.
Some finals from the NHL. The Penguins beat the Flyers 4-3 in overtime. Bruins beat the Jets 2-1. And a milestone in the Capitals' 5-3 win over the Senators. Alexander Ovechkin scored 2 goals, and with them, he passed Mark Messier to take sole possession of 8th place on the NHL all-time goals list. And the Leafs, meanwhile, they were off. They'll play again on Saturday evening against the visiting Ottawa Senators down at Scotiabank Arena. That game will be on CBC and Sportsnet 1. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News time at 2:46.
Some live to ski, others ski to live. Introducing Bluemont, a Blue Mountain chalet living on 60-foot executive lots. Steps from the mountain. A lifetime of memories awaits you and your family. Chalets from $890,000. For more information or directions to our sales office, visit Premont.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online
online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your card.
Also accepting boats, motorcycles, RVs, and truck donations.
In health and lifestyle news, it's not a cure, but patients with peanut allergies are hoping it could mean better care. ABC's Chuck Severson has more on a new treatment.
The FDA has approved the first treatment for kids with peanut allergies. The treatment, named Palforzia from Ammune Therapeutics, is a specially prepared peanut powder swallowed daily in tiny amounts that gradually increase over months. Developers say it trains children's and teens' bodies to better tolerate peanuts, so an accidental bite doesn't cause a serious reaction or even death. Users still have to avoid peanuts like usual. The FDA is requiring patients to take doses under supervision, and if kids stop taking the daily dose, they lose the protection. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
Fox City News Time 2:48. A high school athlete in the United States is speaking out about the dangers of vaping after he nearly died when his lungs failed. 17-year-old Daniel Ahmed tells ABC's Paul Ferris he vaped only for less than a year when his health rapidly declined and needed life-saving surgery.
What were you
Daniel's
vaping?
lost over 40 pounds. When the doctors told you that this was because of vaping, you were skeptical.
Yeah, I didn't really believe it at first. It just didn't make sense because why didn't it happen to other people?
It is happening to other people.
He says while he is grateful to be alive, his new life is forever altered.
Like I have to take over 20 medications a day. I have to wear a mask in public for at least a year. I can't travel for a year. Opportunities that I would have had before, like going in the military, I can't do that anymore.
He says he only admitted to his mother that he had been vaping when they were on the way to the hospital. Ahmed has since started a nonprofit group called Fight for Wellness, aimed at helping young people get out of the vaping habit. 6 City News Time 2:49. A legendary best-selling author has died. Mary Higgins Clark was 92.
In 1975, she had her first hit, Where Are the Children? Many more books followed as Higgins Clark became known as the Queen of Suspense. Asked once about her success.
I'm a natural storyteller. Other people are natural singers or natural artists. And the trick is to figure out which gift you got and then follow it.
Higgins Clark won numerous awards for her writing. There's even one in her name, the Mary Higgins Clark Award, given by the Mystery Writers of America. Some of her books were co-written with her daughter, Carol Higgins Clark. During her career, Mary Higgins Clark wrote more than 50 books, all of which were bestsellers. Bill Deal, ABC News.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the 1 6 City News Time 2:50.
When you have 20/20 vision, you don't need glasses, just sunglasses. Because during Sunwing's Deals of the Decade, you can save up to $2,020 per couple on all-inclusive sun vacations. Vacation better at top-rated resorts with award-winning service every step of the way. But hurry, winter may be around for a while, but these deals will not. Book by February 7th with your travel agent or...
Hi, I'm Brian Scudamore from 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Is it too early to do spring cleaning?
We bring the springtime with us, ma'am.
Just walk around and point at junk you wish would disappear.
Point? Wow. You really do bring the springtime.
We leave behind happy places.
And happy faces.
We work until midnight, 7 days a week.
And we can be there in 90 minutes. All you have to do is point, call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
6 City News Time 2:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. With an eye on your drive, here's Michael Ranger.
Well, we're looking at a very quiet drive on all the major highways in the city. Everything is up to speed. Again, we did have crews dealing with a crash north of the city, southbound 400 at Highway 89, but that has cleared. The 400 is moving well in both directions, northbound and southbound. Highway 401's up to speed in either direction as well, all the way across the city. Eastbound and westbound, both up to speed. We've got a little bit of construction on the way, though. Eastbound 401, east of Victoria Park, and the Collector's Cruiser in the two right lanes. As part of that construction, northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed. Eastbound 401 ramp to Warden is closed as well. Further along eastbound 401 approaching Brock Street, left lane blocked for road work. Other side of the highway, westbound 401 at Thixon, left lane is blocked there as well. But again, light traffic, so everything is up to speed. 404 DVP northbound, southbound, no delays. We do have one ramp closure right now. Westbound Steeles ramp to the northbound 404. It's currently blocked for a police investigation. Gardner's moving well in both directions, so is the QEW. A little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Cruiser in the right lane. 403, 410, 427 all moving well. Tiny bit more construction northbound 427, just going by Rathburn in the express. Crews working in the right lane, but again, roads lightly traveled, so that isn't causing any issues. If we look off of the major highways onto city streets, Bakersfield Street, which is just off Shepherd near Downsview Park subway station, it's closed in both directions between Shepherd and Ashwarren, and that's because of a vehicle fire that happened there last night. Your next traffic report is at 3:01 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
Couple of peaks of sunshine early to start off the weekend today, and then as we head into the afternoon, the cloud builds in. Snow showers possible by the evening, a high of 2 in the forecast. South wind expected up to 25 kilometers per hour. Tonight's snow showers just leave us with a dusting, but the next round that arrives on Sunday morning could actually leave a centimeter or two of accumulation in the east end of the GTA and across the north. Meanwhile, just a dusting here downtown, and there'll be parts of the west end that likely won't see anything at all. By the afternoon, we warm up to a high of 3 degrees. It's mainly cloudy to wrap up the weekend. South wind up to 35 kilometers per hour.
You guys, you don't even get snow.
Groundhog Day looks like it'll be cloudy, no shadow if you believe in any of that. Hocus pocus. On Monday, it's partly cloudy. Warm start at 2 degrees, heading up to a high of 6 by the afternoon. Today, we're heading up to a high temperature of 2 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, it's -1, feeling like a -3 with a few clouds in the sky. And over at Pearson Airport, -4, feeling like a chilly -9. Coming up at 3 o'clock, the latest on a multiple shooting in the downtown core, leaving 3 young men dead and 2 others in hospital. 6 City News time at 2:54.
Every 3 minutes, a Canadian will be diagnosed with cancer.
The condo towers covered in cameras.
That's
They're
over
not going to tell us
17,000 people. Or enough to fill a hockey arena. Sign up for DriveFed today and raise funds for people affected by cancer in support of the Canadian Cancer Society. Giving up alcohol for a month might seem tough, but it will help people facing the biggest challenge of their lives. Visit drivefed.ca and sign up today.
680 News.
Now in perfect clarity on HD Radio.
92.5 FM. HD2.
Toronto's tree canopy is growing. The City Council today adopted a report that shows the city's urban forest has grown over the last decade. It's been getting a lot of help from City Hall, with about 120,000 trees planted on public property each year. The tree population has grown in the past 10 years from 10.2 million to 11.5 million, but on the downside, land cover, such as pavement, increased by 1.4% across the city. Your business report just 60 seconds away. 6 City News time, 2:55.
That piece of trivia is going to bother me until one day I'm drunk with new people.
Get together with family, friends, and our mouth-watering oven-baked pizzas, wedges, and wings. So from our family to yours, cheer on your favorite team and taste the difference.
Samantha Bee is coming to Toronto. On Thursday, March 5th, join the Canadian Women's Foundation to have lunch at LOL with Emmy-nominated comedian and television host Samantha Bee. Samantha Bee says the things no one else does because satire is her superpower. Get inspired by one of the most talented and outspoken people on television. Funds raised go to the Canadian Women's Foundation to support programs across the country that empower women and girls to move out of violence, out of poverty, and into confidence and leadership. Get your tickets now at CanadianWomen.org.
6 City News time, 2:56. Now the 6 City News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Richard Denton. A research center powered by cloud computing and artificial intelligence is open for business at the University of British Columbia. Dr. Shez Partovi is Worldwide Director of Business Development for Healthcare, Life Sciences, and Genomics at Amazon Web Services. He's also originally from Vancouver. What's the goal of this Cloud Innovation Center?
In this particular GIC, the Cloud Innovation Center, it actually focuses on community health and well-being. And so the challenges that we're looking to solve would be aimed at those matters of elevating community health and human well-being, if you will.
That seems overly broad. How do you narrow this down into something you can actually get to work on?
We intentionally and collaboratively, working with UBC, selected a broad topic, broad space, so that it would not be limiting to the students that want to come forward with ideas. They are the engine, they are the heart of this partnership, this collaboration, they're the heart of it. And the idea is that we would allow students, staff, and faculty, if you will, to bring forward innovative ideas and challenge that would solve real-world challenges in community wellness.
How does cloud computing help push these ideas towards solutions?
Predicting patient health events, like predicting that a patient is going to get congestive heart failure and being able to intervene in advance, that's one of the things that a lot of our customers are asking us, and in fact, it's an opportunity for these challenges. The other two things
Tell me when I absolutely have to stop
the digital experience of patients. You know, our best experience anywhere is what we expect everywhere. We're in that world where whatever is your best experience is what you want. And so there's a lot of opportunities for cloud computing to bring that digital experience to healthcare. So that's sort of number two. And the last one I'll mention is the challenge of data liquidity, so that data follows you where you go. And that actually helps the physician, the clinician, the nurse, the community health worker.
Dr. Shez Partovi of
What's
AWS, the Business Center. I'm Richard Cadman.
Thanks for calling Reliance Home Comfort. It's Jeff. How can I help you?
Hi, can a new furnace really help me save on energy costs?
Well, older furnaces use up to 60% of a home's energy. Upgrading to a high-efficiency furnace could help. If you have an older furnace, it's a great time to replace it. Right now, you can get 25% off our featured furnaces and receive a free Google Nest Learning Thermostat and Nest Hub. But hurry, this offer won't last long. When you need a great deal fast. Conditions apply. See website for details.
Why did I wait so long? Our patients tell us that all the time at the Herzig Eye Institute. I'm Cherry Tab, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. And Dr. Herzig and I want to ask you, why have you waited so long? You could finally be free from glasses, contacts, even reading glasses. Google high-definition vision. Learn about Herzig. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Afterwards, you'll say, why did I wait so long? Look after yourself. Promise me.
Taking a look at your regional weather conditions in Milton, -5, partly cloudy sky. Similar conditions over in Ajax, -4, feeling like a chilly -7. Richmond Hill, -2, partly cloudy skies there as well. In Orangeville, -9, and an overcast sky. Downtown Toronto, it's -1, feeling like -3, with a few clouds in the sky. The News Watch never stops. 6 City News is CFTR AM Toronto. Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day and always be in the know.
And
6 City
here's 3,
News time,
4,
3
5
o'clock.
different versions of the fucking news. Oh,
For breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good morning, and this is Saturday, February the 1st. I'm Tim Chapman.
And I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here's what's making news this hour.
Police continue to investigate after a shooting that sends 3 men to hospital where they later succumbed to their injuries.
Elementary teachers of Ontario and the province failed to reach an agreement, which means escalating strike action next week.
Globally, over 11,000 people have now contracted the coronavirus. This as news of Ontario's 3rd confirmed case in a public health emergency declared in the United States.
What would you say if I told you Wyerton Willie's predictions are up to 90% accurate? We're counting down to the
I would
Groundhog
bet
Day
$2 that tomorrow he's going to have a heart
Coach
attack.
Team
when he comes
Giannis
out.
at the 2020 NBA All-Star Game in Chicago, and Alexander Ovechkin continues to move up the all-time lists. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, it's the biggest profit in corporate history. We're looking over Apple's $22 billion quarterly update, prospects for future growth, and could it be the first $2 trillion company?
6 City News time, 3:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger. This report is brought to you by Seneca. Well, major routes, they're all moving well right now, not seeing any delays. We've just got a little bit of overnight construction along the way. Again, 401 up to speed all the way across the city in both directions. Eastbound 401 east of Victoria Park in the Collectors Crews are working in the 2 right lanes. As part of that construction, northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is closed, as is the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden. Further along the road, eastbound 401 approaching Brock Street, crews working in the left lane, but again, it's light traffic, so it's not causing any delays. Other side of the highway, westbound 401 at Dixon, crews working in the left lane there as well. And same story, roads lightly traveled, so no delays. That's the only issue on the westbound 401. Rest of the drive is completely construction free. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, no delays. 404 DVP, it's moving well in each direction. We've just got a ramp closure right now. Westbound Steeles ramp to the northbound 404, it's blocked for a police investigation. Gardner's up to speed in both directions, so is the QEW. A little bit of construction, eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Crews working in the right lane. 427 is up to speed northbound and southbound. We've got some construction on the northbound side at Rathburn in the Express. Right lane is gone for road work. And other than that, the 427 moving well. 403, 410, both up to speed. Looking off the major highways onto city streets, Bakersfield Street is closed in both directions between Shepherd and Ashwarren. That's right near Downsview Park subway station. And that road closure is because of a vehicle fire that happened last night. Seneca students do the hard work and have the relentless commitment to take anything on. Take the next step and join the Seneca Proud Challenge accepted. Next traffic report is at 3:11 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
Slightly warmer temperatures and a few snow showers this weekend. Accumulation looks to be fairly minimal, although the east end of the GTA could pick up 1 to 2 centimeters. Daytime highs today expected near 2 degrees. It'll be a mainly cloudy sky. Snow showers arriving by the evening and winds out of the south up to about 25 kilometers per hour. Today's high temperature, 2 with the forecast.
Downtown Toronto right now, it's -1, feeling like -3 with a few clouds in the sky. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, -4, feeling like -9. 6 City News time, 3:03.
3 young men are dead and 2 others are injured following a shooting in the Fort York area. 3 men were rushed to hospital in critical condition but later succumbed to their injuries. It's reported the group of 5 were attending a party at an Airbnb in the area.
Paramedics say the call came in just before 10:30 last night. Constable Craig Brister with Toronto Police says officers are appealing for witnesses.
We're asking anyone that may have seen anything to call police or to call contact Crime Stoppers.
There is no word on what led to the shooting or who is responsible at this time.
This is 680 News. Strikes by Ontario elementary teachers will escalate next week after the collapse of renewed contract talks.
There's no way
The
you
union
don't have
said
a
teachers
picture
would
of
walk out
somebody.
at each board twice a week starting Monday if no deal was reached. Education Minister Stephen Lecce shares the government's stance on recent events.
I've always said that the issue at the table continues to be a contrast of priorities.
They don't know
While
who
the
got
mediator
shot,
has
they don't
called
know
off
who
the
did the shooting,
discussions
they
for
don't know
now,
nothing.
we stand ready to meet at any time to reach a deal.
Lecce also says the province is committed to preserving Ontario's world-class kindergarten program. No new contract talks are scheduled. The province-wide strike is planned for Thursday.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. Case
You're not
number
getting rid of it.
3
Why are
of
you talking about
coronavirus has popped up here in Ontario. A Western University student who had recently returned from Wuhan, China. 680's Meg Black has more info on the province's newest case.
Another case of coronavirus confirmed right here in Ontario, and it's now the youngest case in the country.
A female in her 20s who arrived asymptomatic.
Western University confirms she is a student, but Jennifer Massey, Associate VP of Student Experience, says she hasn't stepped foot on campus since returning from Wuhan last Thursday.
The risk to campus remains very low. Classes are continuing. The university is open.
Dr. Chris Mackey, medical officer for their Middlesex London Health Unit, says she wore a mask and did not experience any symptoms throughout her travels. And when she felt ill at home, she immediately put herself into isolation.
The only time she's been out of her home since then is to hospital for testing, and again, for the equivalent of a surgical mask, to protect others.
However, her initial test in Ontario came back negative, and novel coronavirus was not confirmed until samples were sent to the National Microbiology Lab in Winnipeg. And that's the first time that's happened. The woman has since recovered.
Tell people to call a doctor when they get symptoms.
News Time 306 says Chinese health officials in the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak report the number of fatalities has grown to at least 250, with confirmed cases higher than 11,300 worldwide. This comes as the United States declares a public health emergency.
Why are people eating bats?
Has that story.
Among the temporary measures invoked with this declaration, U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Alex Azar
says any U.S. citizen who has returned from China's Hubei province within the last 14 days is subject to up to a 2-week mandatory quarantine.
To ensure
find all
they are
those
provided proper medical care and health screening.
Furthermore, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed a presidential proclamation suspending the entry of foreign nationals who have traveled within China in the last 14 days. This does not include immediate family
Everybody in
members of
Canada's
U.S.
on the honor
citizens.
system. It's
However,
self-reporting.
Secretary
It's
Azar is also
self-isolating.
stressing
The risk of infection
So
for
polite.
Americans remains low.
the declaration will go into effect this Sunday at 5 p.m. I'm Michelle Mackey.
Why
The Toronto
not?
doctor says
Yes,
Canadians
as
should
soon
be
as you
focusing
said it.
on the flu rather
You
than
said
the
it.
coronavirus. According to Sick Kids ER physician
You
Dina
give it more
Kulik,
time to
it is
cook,
much
eh?
more common right now with hundreds of thousands of cases across the country.
The death rate is higher, the infection rate is higher. It's in our backyard.
The pediatric emergency medicine doctor at Sick Kids says about 2,000 Canadians die from the influenza virus every year. When it comes to protecting yourself from the flu or the coronavirus, she recommends being vigilant about hand hygiene and keeping away from sick people and staying away from people if you are sick yourself.
What if you don't have
6
symptoms
news
yet?
time at 3:08 in Scarborough. A man's in hospital in critical condition after a 2-alarm house fire near Midland and Finch. Emergency crews were called to the scene on Alex Muir Boulevard around 6 Friday night. Paramedics tell 6 City News 2 others suffered minor injuries.
680 News Time, 3:08. A Mississauga man has been found guilty of human trafficking and has been sentenced to 8 years in prison. Francis Atoni, a 36-year-old man, was charged with 2 counts of human trafficking, 1 count of receiving a material benefit from human trafficking, and 2 counts of exercise control over a person to provide sexual services for consideration.
This is 6 City News. The first Ontario Liberal leadership debate will happen this afternoon. 6 City's Richard Southern with a preview.
There are 6 candidates running to succeed Kathleen Wynne. They're hoping to turn around the Liberal Party fortunes after what was a disastrous election night in 2018. Stephen Del Duca, a former cabinet minister in the Wynne government, is considered to be the front runner at this point. Current Liberal MPPs Michael Cateau and Mitzi Hunter are both running, as is Alan Tejo, a former policy advisor at Queen's Park, as well Ottawa lawyer Brenda Hollingsworth has put her cap in the ring. TVO's Steve Aitken will host the debate, which takes place at 3 this afternoon. It'll be broadcast on TVO at 8 p.m. The Ontario Liberals no doubt have a huge hill to climb. They currently have just 6 seats in the legislature, but a recent poll said if the election was held today, they'd have a shot at forming government. Richard Southern, 680 News.
So to come on 680 News, we'll check on the price at the pumps, followed by traffic and weather together. 680 News time, 3:09.
This is 680 News.
Sell off vacations. Once a year clear out sale is on. So do you drop what you're doing and book now? So that's a yes.
It's a paramedics
Off vacations, once a year clear out sale.
Fuck a paramedics
Clear out savings and
investigation.
exclusive bonus upgrades on hundreds of sun vacations. But hurry, book now before we're cleared out. Visit one of our 6 stores in
Associate
GTA.
Vice President of Student Experience.
Now the 680 News gas price update.
like a
As
drug
Enpro
dealer.
predicted, the price dropped to 1 cent at midnight to $1.09.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News time at 3:10.
Tim Hortons Dream Donuts are here. Try the Dolce de Leche, chocolate truffle, or strawberry confetti today at Tim's. They'll have you saying,
You're all bundled up.
Yeah, well, it is minus 17,700.
No way that's right.
says right here, get 25% off MSRP for up to $17,700 in total discounts on select brand 1500 classic bottles. Plus, we make no payments for 90 days.
Oh, I see. Minus 17,700.
There you go.
I'll grab my coat.
I can't believe that worked.
It's the Ram 4x4 winter event. See dealer for details.
680 News time, 3:11 time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Michael Ranger. Well, major highways are in good shape right now, as you'd expect this hour of the morning. No delays. We do have an issue on the northbound 404, or a ramp affecting the northbound 404. Westbound Steeles ramp onto the highway is currently blocked for a police investigation.
The bars is
No
Friday.
sign when
Are
that
you
will
fucking
reopen.
retarded?
The rest of the
worst time
issues
to
right
be
now
on
are
the
just some
road.
overnight construction. 401 is moving well across the city in both directions. We do have some construction eastbound 401 east of Victoria Park in the collectors, crews working in the 2 right lanes. Because of that construction, the northbound Victoria Park ramp onto the eastbound 401 is closed, as is the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden. Continuing along eastbound 401, approaching Brock Street, crews working in the left lane. Again, lightly traveled, so no delays. Other side of the highway, westbound 401 at Dixon, crews working in the left lane there as well. But once again, not a lot of cars on the road, so that lane restriction isn't causing any delays. That's the only issue on the westbound 401. DVP is up to speed in both directions, so is the Gardner. QEW is moving well eastbound and westbound. A little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. Crews working in the right lane. Some more construction northbound 427 at Rathburn in the Express. Crews working in the right lane there as well. All your other major routes are moving fine right now. If we move off of the major routes onto city streets, Bakersfield Street closed in both directions between Shepherd and Ashwarren. Bakersfield's just off Shepherd near Downsview Park subway station, and that closure is because of a vehicle fire that happened last night. Your next traffic report is at 3:21 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
Starting out February on a above seasonal note, 2 in the forecast, mainly cloudy. We'll see some peaks of sunshine early on, and then that cloud builds in. Snow showers throughout the overnight could leave a dusting of snow. As we make our way into Sunday, we have another round of snow showers expected that could leave 1 to 2 centimeters in the east end of the GTA, with a dusting possible for the west. We'll see that snow shower activity wrapping up by about midday with a high temperature of 3 degrees to wrap up the weekend. Today, mainly cloudy, snow showers possible by the evening at a high of 2.
Right now, downtown, -1 and partly cloudy over at Pearson Airport. Similar conditions and -3. Are you commuting today? Well, just a heads up, the ZTC has some service disruptions to keep in mind. Subway service on line 1 will be shut down from Finch to Eglinton this weekend, and shuttle buses will be running. North York Center Station will also be closed, and Wheel-Trans commuters can talk to a TTC employee if they need some help. During the closure, workers will be installing a signaling system. Service is expected to resume on Monday. 680 News Time at 3:13. A list of your top stories in sports 60 seconds away.
With Intact Insurance, you can get rewarded for being a good driver. No, really. The better you drive, the more you save. Seriously, you could get up to 30% off your car insurance with My Drive. Please keep your hands on the wheel. Intact Insurance, the insurance you dream of. If you dream of insurance, get a quote on intact.ca or talk to your broker. Certain conditions and exclusions apply. When we work together, amazing things can happen. The Love You by Shoppers Drug Mart program works together with local charities to help advance women's health and provide support systems for women to feel their best. To date, we've raised over $66 million to support women's health initiatives in our communities. Join us in being a champion for women's health. Visit shoppersdrugmart.ca/loveyou to learn how you can participate. Because together, we're empowered. Together, we're healthier. Together, we're unstoppable.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's -1 and partly cloudy. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Tim Chapman. Here are the top stories of this hour. Police continue to investigate a shooting in the Fort York area that left 3 men dead and 2 others injured. The shooting allegedly took place at an Airbnb. There's no word on suspects at this time. No deal between elementary teachers and the province, and that means an escalation in strike action next week. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says the government affirmed its commitment to maintaining full-day kindergarten, but pay and benefits remain a top priority for union leaders. A Western University student is the province's latest coronavirus case. She returned from Wuhan last Thursday. The federal minister of health says despite the risk to the public, the risk to the public remains low. And coming up after sports, the Republican majority prevails in the impeachment trial of U.S. President Donald Trump. 680 News Time, 3:15. Now, 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Shillerly.
Thanks, guys. Well, the Raptors beat the Pistons with a pretty convincing 105-92 win down in Detroit.
13-point lead for the Raptors, and that'll do it. 105-92, the final, as Nick Nurse and his coaching staff will head to Chicago and coach in the NBA All-Star game.
Pascal Siakam led all scorers with 30 points, while Serge Ibaka added 21 points himself. The All-Star game is in Chicago over Family Day weekend, in case you're wondering. Some finals from the NHL. The Penguins beat the Flyers 4-3 in overtime. Bruins beat the Jets 2-1. Golden Knights beat the Hurricanes 4-3. And a milestone in the Capitals' 5-3 win over the Ottawa Senators. Alexander Ovechkin scored 2 goals, and with them, he passed Mark Messier to take sole possession of 8th place on the NHL's all-time goals list. And the Leafs, meanwhile, were off. They'll play again on Saturday evening against the visiting Senators down at Scotiabank Arena. That game will be on CBC and Sportsnet 1. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time at 3:16.
Your email checking, writing, ignoring is on track. You're okay, just one more snack. And your post-snack nap is on track. You're catching up with the gossip. And finally, catching up with you is on track. Your gazing at the snowy view is definitely on track. Your photo-taking, filter-choosing, Insta-faming, yeah, they're on track. Your green tea sipping, cozy wool sock loving, left, right, lefting, and just getting out of town is on track. You're on track to loving winter travel with Via Rail. Via Rail Canada. Love the way.
Celebrate the Year of the Rat with Niagara Falls View Casino's Chinese New Year promotion from January 13th to February 5th. We're giving away over $200,000 in prizes. Draws are held at 7:05 p.m. Monday to Wednesday. Visit FallsViewCasinoResort.com for details. Must be 19 or older. No purchase necessary. Stop in and try the abundance of Chinese New Year dishes being served at Falls View's Golden Lotus Restaurant, available from January 24th to February 8th. Don't miss the Chinese New Year promotion at Niagara Falls View Casino.
680 News Time at 3:18. Senators have voted to block the Democrats' call for new witnesses and documents at U.S. President Donald Trump's impeachment trial. The 51-49 vote all but ensures Trump's acquittal when senators answer the final roll call on impeachment sometime next week. ABC's Jonathan Carl reports on the Trump administration's reaction.
The White House, the president's legal team fought hard to prevent witnesses, and they prevailed. They're obviously happy about that and looking forward to the final vote next week, which the president will certainly call an exoneration. The bottom line from the president's advisors, they say that he is eager to put this behind him.
Final vote on acquittal is expected Wednesday. This is 680 News, All News Radio. U.S. President Donald Trump is signing an order that creates a post focused on human trafficking.
Besides the new White House job in the Domestic Policy Council, the president's executive order on human trafficking expands prevention education programs and prioritizes removal of child sexual abuse material from the internet.
Human traffickers prey on their most vulnerable citizens and people. They're vicious, they're violent.
The president calls human trafficking modern-day slavery.
We will not rest until we've stopped every last human trafficker and liberated every last survivor.
Eric Schwartz, president of Refugees International, criticized the administration's stand on human trafficking, saying victims are endangered by a chipping away of their legal protections. Ed Donahue, Washington.
And across the pond, Britain has officially left the European Union after 47 years of membership.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson calls Brexit not an end, but a beginning, a moment he sees of real national renewal and change. But of course, time will tell. Opportunities will present themselves, but the European exit is also a gamble, a huge gamble that could be paid in a weakened economy and job losses, at least in the short term. The road, however, is now open. The stage is set. Britain's fate now rests solely in its own hands. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the ones. 680 News Time, 3:20.
No, tell me more about Britain, please.
Hi, I'm Brian Scudamore from 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Is it too early to do spring cleaning?
Springtime is here, ma'am.
But the calendar says.
Springtime came to your house the moment we arrived.
We bring the springtime with us, ma'am.
But I haven't really prepared for spring cleaning.
You don't need to prepare, ma'am.
Just walk around and point at junk you wish would disappear.
And then what happens?
It disappears.
Really?
All you have to do is point.
All I have to do is point? Wow. You really do bring the springtime.
We leave behind happy places.
And happy faces.
We work until midnight, 7 days a week.
And we can be there in 90 minutes. When you're ready for a fresh start
And you want junk to disappear.
You can make it springtime anytime.
All you have to do is point. We'll be there before you hang up the phone. Your home will sparkle and sing a happy song. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
6:50 news time, 3:21. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Michael Ranger.
Well, if you're out on the major highways, pretty good time to be out there. Everything is moving fine. We've just got a little bit of overnight construction, and some of that has already started to clear up. Eastbound 401, crews were set up east of Victoria Park in the collectors. 2 right lanes were gone. That is now gone, and as part of that construction, the northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 was closed. That's reopened, and so was the eastbound 401 ramp to Warden. That has also reopened. Continuing on the eastbound 401, approaching Brock Street, the left lane is still gone for road work. Other side of the highway, westbound 401, it's moving fine all the way across the city. Just one spot of construction at Dixon. Crews working in the left lane, but again, light traffic on the road, so no delays. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, it's moving fine. 404 DVP as well, it's up to speed in both directions. We do have a ramp closure right now affecting the northbound 404 westbound Steeles ramp to the highway is currently blocked for a police investigation. Also, if you're traveling a westbound on Steeles going by the 404, the right lane is blocked. Police cars there again for that same police investigation. Gardner's up to speed in both directions, so is the QEW eastbound and westbound. Just a little bit of construction eastbound QEW approaching Dixie, crews working in the right lane. 403, 410, 427, all looking good in both directions. A little bit of construction northbound 427 at Rathburn in the express. Right lane is blocked, but again, light traffic, so no delays. 407 moving fine. Looking off the major highways onto city streets. Bakersfield Street closed in both directions between Shepherd and Ashwarren. Bakersfield's just off Shepherd near Downsview Park subway station. That road closure is because crews are continuing to clean up a vehicle fire that happened last night. Your next traffic report is at 3:31 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
We're looking at a mainly cloudy sky as we head through the afternoon. 2 degrees in the forecast. No showers expected this evening. Winds are going to be out of the south up to about 25 kilometers per hour. Overnight, snow showers on and off. Just a coating of snow expected. And then another round on Sunday morning. This one's going to be producing a little bit more snow, so areas in the east end could see 1 to 2 centimeters. Downtown, just a dusting expected. It'll be cloudy for Sunday. The reason that's somewhat significant, if you believe in the folklore of the groundhog, it is Groundhog Day. 3 degrees in the forecast there for Sunday, and then on Monday we'll see a few more peaks of sunshine and a daytime high of 6 degrees. Today, it's a high temperature of 2 in the forecast.
Right now, downtown Toronto, -1 and partly cloudy. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, -4, feeling like -9. Remember, 680 News is the only radio station with a weather guarantee. Today's jackpot stands at $14,200. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the latest on an ongoing investigation in Fort York after 3 men were fatally shot at a party at an Airbnb. Escalating tensions between elementary teachers and the province, and growing coronavirus concerns here at home. 680 News Time, 3:24.
Hello, Loblaws shoppers, specifically Paul.
Because, you know, those
Planning a
guys
party
already
for the big
dead, but the
game.
virus is
Hi,
still
here's Matt
going
Coach
around.
Paul.
This
Here to make sure your
is
party food is
why
on
some
point.
stories with the
Rush to the home counter, tackle a bucket of 36 chicken wings and potato wedges, a 2-liter Pepsi beverage, and select varieties of Ruffles, Doritos, or Tostitos snacks, and earn 3,500 PC Optimum points.
Touchdown. Oh, wait, spicy your mouth.
Just get the wings, Paul. Conditions apply. Offer valid until February 5th, 2020, only at participating Loblaws locations. Food lovers unite.
This is your weather station, 680 News.
An award-winning streaming show will soon be ending.
The critically acclaimed Netflix drama The Crown will end after season 5, which will take the series into the 2000s, and we'll get another new queen, played by Imelda Staunton, who Harry Potter fans might know as Dolores Umbridge. She also played Lady Bagshaw in the Downton Abbey movie. Season 4 of The Crown is in production now.
680 News Time, 3:25. Your weekend business report, 60 seconds away.
You've been diagnosed with depression and can't work. Your disability insurer denies your claim and has never sent you to see a doctor. Think this can't happen? Think again. My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your long-term disability claim is denied for any reason, call me 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees because there are none. At my law firm, my lawyers only get paid when you get paid and before you call. You should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at # LTD.
When you have 20/20 vision, you don't need glasses, just sunglasses. Because during Sunwing's deals of the decade, you can save up to $2,020 per couple on all-inclusive sun vacations. Vacation better at top-rated resorts with award-winning service every step of the way. But hurry, winter may be around for a while, but these deals will not. Book by February 7th with your travel agent or...
6 City News time, 3:26. Now the 6 City News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Mike Apple. Analysts who cover Apple on Wall Street could not find enough superlatives to describe the company's performance over the holiday sales period. The biggest ever quarterly profit, $22 billion, up more than $90 billion in sales. The company sold more of everything. iPhones reclaimed the #1 ranking of all smartphone brands. Wearables topped $10 billion in sales. And the company's stock reflected the results, rising to an all-time high and clearing $1.4 trillion in market value. Allison Ostrander is with Simpler Trading.
I mean, the only numbers that they did exceed expectations for with this earnings announcement was their service revenue, and everything else continued to beat the estimates that they're anticipating. I think there's, still stuff behind Apple. People still want to buy the products. They're still invested in the company. Overall, I mean, we've been in this bullish trend for quite some time. We would expect a pullback by now, but when we get numbers like this, it's hard to trade against that and just continue to remain bullish.
Now, in the company's conference call, CEO Tim Cook said consumers are replacing older phones at a faster pace.
I also think phone companies are taking that into consideration, and they're trying to do things to get the newest model of phone in people's hands. So quite a few phone companies like Sprint, for example, have setups where it's like an Apple leasing program where you only have your iPhone for about a year and then you go to trade it in and upgrade it to the next one.
There was some caution from Cook related to China, where all of the iPhones are produced.
I think the reason why they have such a wide range on next quarter's guidance is because of the uncertainty in China and, of course, with the coronavirus, because it continues to grow and the fear around that continues to grow. I think that's going to play into not just Apple, but a lot of companies' sales who have business and have factories over in China. And so with that uncertainty, I think they're trying to build that some into their numbers for next quarter as well.
That's Allison Ostrander with Simpler Trading. The shares of Apple closed the week at $315 over the past year, gained 92%. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
We believe in being accountable to you, the listener, which is why we're a member of the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council. As a member, we're committed to upholding the highest standards of broadcasting and adhering to specific codes of conduct. If you have a comment on what you've heard, contact us or visit the CBSC's website, cbsc.ca. We'll respond to your concerns and send you information on the council and its codes.
Hey, John, how's your business doing?
Numero uno.
I don't understand. I thought you said your business needed help getting more customers.
Numero uno.
What do you mean, numero uno?
I mean, the team at Numero Uno helped turn my business around. With their simple online strategies, I have more leads, more customers, and more sales than ever.
Sounds like the Numero Uno team really know their stuff.
That's why they're Numero Uno.
To see how Numero Uno can get your business more customers, visit numerounoweb.com today. That's numerounoweb.com.
Being right matters.
So if our weather forecast is off by more than 3 degrees,
You could win cash.
details at 680news.com. It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by IA Clarington Investments, where we believe in the value of active management to navigate today's complex markets. Visit iaclarington.com.
In Vancouver, partly cloudy, 4 degrees. The nation's capital, foggy, -6. Halifax, similar, and 1. Right here at home, -1 and partly cloudy. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. 680 News time, 3:30.
#1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good morning. This is Saturday, February the 1st. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Tim Chapman. Here's what's making news this hour.
3 are dead and 2 others are in hospital after a late night shooting at an Airbnb in the downtown core.
Strikes by Ontario elementary teachers will escalate next week after contract talks break down yet again.
More than 11,000 coronavirus cases confirmed worldwide, with at least 259 deaths. This as Ontario confirms its 3rd case. More than 11,000 coronavirus cases confirmed worldwide, with at least 258 deaths. And as Ontario's 3rd case is confirmed, the U.S. has declared a public health emergency.
Raptors whoop the Pistons and send Nick Nurse to the All-Star game, while Alex Ovechkin's 2 goals moves him past Mark Messier on the all-time goal list. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, not enamored by the Ember Brew. Beer sales have fallen off a cliff here in Canada. We're looking at why and what it means for the growing number of microbrewers.
680 News Time, 3:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
Well, we've got still a quiet drive on all the major highways, just dealing with some overnight construction, but some of that has started to clear up. We do have a ramp closure affecting the northbound 404 right now. Westbound Steeles ramp to the highway is blocked for a police investigation. That's the only issue on the 404. It is up to speed in both directions. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, it's moving well. 401 is in good shape all the way across the city, eastbound and westbound. Just a little bit of construction along the way. We did have construction eastbound 401 collectors east of Victoria Park. 2 right lanes were blocked. That has cleared up, and because of that, the northbound Victoria Park ramp to the eastbound 401 is reopened and is blocked. But again, with the light traffic, that lane restriction not causing any delays. Looking off the major highways onto city streets, we've got a road closure. Bakersfield Street closed in both the Shepherd and Ashwarren. Bakersfield is just off of Shepherd near Downsview Park subway station, and that closure is because of a vehicle fire that happened there last night. Your next traffic report is at 3:41 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stiles.
We've got a mainly cloudy sky for most of the day today. If you do want some